What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? We have made it through another week, yo. We have made it through another week. And I don't know about y'all, but I am glad to be here on a Saturday night hanging out with you. Yes, sir. Got all kinds of goodness to talk about. Lots and lots and lots of Marvel. A little bit DC. Did I mention lots and lots and lots of Marvel? Lots of Marvel. So fill your cup, light your smoke, because it's time to get nerdy. Oh, yeah. What's happening? How's everyone doing? Welcome to the weekend. Welcome to the Saturday Night Chill. Welcome to the stream. Hope y'all had a good week. What's up, Daniel? Gonna try and listen while wrangling the boys. Well, here's what you do. It's a pay-per-view night for the UFC. So be like, hey, let daddy show you some jiu-jitsu and choke them both the fuck out. What's happening? There's your solution. I got you, man. It's what I'm here for. I'm here for you. What's up, Brooke? Rob. What's up, brother? How are we? How are we? Let daddy show you some jiu-jitsu and choke them both the fuck out. Played some Black Ops 6 Zombies and watched all the new Cobra Kai episodes. Nice. I have not watched one frame of Cobra Kai. Maybe. Okay, well, not of any of the episodes. I've seen a little bit of trailers here and there. But as for sitting down and going click on an episode, not one frame. Although I've heard, like, mostly good things about it. I hear they're, farther along it gets, more suspension of disbelief is required. Which, it's martial arts. I generally have no problem with suspending disbelief when it comes to the martial arts. I don't care. Just make it badass. I'm happy. Brooke, watch Rob's video on Absolute Wonder Woman. Oh yeah, I want those Absolute books really bad. I'll be happy to DM my address if anyone's interested in, sending me one. That'd be dope. Anyway, scrolling through some of his older comic videos. Rob has this 11-hour video on the arc behind Batman Who Laughs. I would watch that shit, bro. Hey, Mer. What's up, girl? Season 6 is supposed to be the last season. Yeah, I heard that. Astonished that a 58-year-old Tyson didn't get smoked by a 27-year-old Jake Paul. I'm not. Jake's a bitch. The only person he's ever fought that was both an actual boxer and around his age, he lost. He's a bitch. He's a very good promoter. I mean, credit where credit's due. The man knows how to, get people to watch him and spend their money and all that shit. So, you know, props in that direction, but he's a bitch. Yeah, Rob probably has an older video on everything, bro. Like, for real. I don't know. I've just been... Like, my kicks go in cycles. Like, for a while, I was watching Rob while I was door dashing. Then I was watching Star Talk while I was door dashing. Now I'm just watching, like, 3 or 4 channels worth of live streams all the time. Yeah, Rob probably has an older video on everything. Eventually, I'll cycle back. Like, for real. I don't know. I've just been... Like, my kicks go in cycles. Like, for a while, I was watching Rob while I was door dashing. Then I was watching... Actually, been, this week, I've been reading. I read Plagueis. And I've finished the first book in the Bane trilogy, and I'm going to finish the Bane trilogy, and then I don't know what I'm going to read next. We'll see. But, I have a whole box full of Star Wars books when I get the hankering for good Star Wars. So, yeah. Of course I want, like, you know, the rest. Well, I mean, it's on. I don't really watch it. Mostly listening. Especially to Star Talk or Rob's videos, because there's really nothing to watch on those. Well, I mean, it's on. And I don't really find, you know, slowly framed or slowly moving comic frames to be all that engrossing. Yeah, I haven't watched his Dark Side stuff yet. I've watched much more Marvel than DC on his channel, I must admit. But the Kingdom Come videos, or series of videos, is dope. His dedicated Joker set of videos is dope. He didn't put the Joker who laughs, or the Batman who laughs in on that one, but yeah. Yeah, if I need quick comic knowledge, it's off to Comics Explained YouTube channel I go. If I can. Otherwise, you know, Google. So how are you guys been? What you been? Anything fun happen to you guys this week? Oh, by the way, if you're curious, I love my fucking job. And I'm already, like, I already have the basics down. I'm still learning. Oh boy, am I still learning. But I've been on my own for the last... I mean, I had my orientation day, so that wasn't really a training. Basically, I've been on my own since after I had 5 days of training, so... Yes, that one is worth checking out, because I listened to it while I was dashing. Dan to Dan and Dragon Ball Daima. Dan to Dan. Now that's a name. I mean, I'm sure there's meaning behind it, but you know, to my silly Western ass, Dan to Dan just sounds funny. Oh, you finished all the Spawn animated series? Like, I stopped. I think I might have 2 or 3 to go. I don't know why I stopped, because they are dope. Actually, I do know why I stopped. Neurodivergency. Sci-fi spiritual anime? Ooh. Ooh. Cool. Cute. Cute. All right. So, Wolf Evening. I want to talk a little bit about the Batman 2. Especially because it turns out, like, really mostly only people whose names start with J don't like the Penguin, i.e. Josh and Justin. UFOs and ghosts and a good sense of humor. Well, that sounds like a fucking winner.
Talk a little bit about the Batman 2,
Sounds like a winner.
especially because it turns out that really most people who don't
So yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Penguin finale, and then a little bit about Batman 2,
UFOs and ghosts.
and then a whole bunch of shit about Marvel. Because Alex Perez has been going ham this last week. And when he starts dropping hints, it's serious.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Penguin finale, and then a little bit about Batman 2.
You ask, why so serious? Because Alex Perez is the shit, and when he talks, we should listen.
Because Alex Perez has been going ham this last week. And when he starts dropping hints, it's serious.
What does that even mean, Daniel? Hot grandma.
Talks, we should listen.
I mean, there are hot grandmas. I'm married to one. She ain't even listening. Yep. I thought about talking about the absolute in Dan to Dan. Is there a hot grandma in Dan to Dan? I didn't know. Yeah, I thought about talking about the Lucasfilm dysfunction that has come to light this week. And I'm generally not too shy about dropping a big old stinky pile of poo onto Lucasfilm. Yes, that's true, Rob. That's very true. You're absolutely right. Watched the trailers for Brave New World and Thunderbolts, and you're more hyped for those films now. Yeah, I mean, they're still doing more reshoots on Brave New World, which I'm hoping Josh is right about the fact that those reshoots are basically being guided by the Russo brothers to beef up the action, because I'm afraid that Josh is also correct in that there's literally nothing more they can do for the story itself. They're going to have to make us forget about the weakness of the story with a bunch of dope visuals. But if anyone can do that, the Russos can. So hopefully that's the case. And Thunderbolts just looks good. Like, it looks way better than I thought it was going to be. That one, my hype has actually gone up for that one. Of course, they did a lot of changes to that one too since the initial concepts we heard about. So, excuse me. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Thunderbolts, and I'm interested to see what they'll end up being able to pull off with Cap 4. Harrison Ford going to carry Brave New World? Yeah, probably. I'm definitely looking forward to Thunderbolts, and I'm probably interested to see. Probably. I mean, it's fucking Harrison Ford. I mean, all eyes are going to be on him anyway. I mean, the dude's a fucking legend right there in our face. So, I would just like to say before we get into the stuff that welcome in everyone. Thank you for being here. Be ye active in the chat or be ye lurking. Thank you for hanging. Please show me a little bit of love by hitting that there like button and the subscribe button if you haven't, and the notification bell. I greatly appreciate it, because we have fun up in this bitch. Chad will tell you, and they're not biased. Thunderbolts is the MCU movie all four of us want to see. Me, Mer, and both kids. Wait, not everyone wants to see Fantastic Four? I mean, that's cool, though. I mean, family consensus movie is pretty sweet. The rest are either you and Alex or you and Maya. Which one's Maya looking forward to the most? I mean, that's cool, though. I mean, family consensus movie is yeah, I think Thunderbolts is going to end up actually, and still surprisingly, going to be a banger. I don't know if it's going to be a $1 billion banger. Let's not go overboard. But if it actually is as hype as the trailer makes it look, I can see it doing 7 or 8. 7 or 800 millies. I could see that. Does anyone know what the production budget is on that motherfucker? Has that info been released? Let's see. Thunderbolts. Tell you this, I type better on a flatter keyboard because my work keyboard is flatter than this keyboard, and I type way better at work. Has that info been released? Is this known? Is this a known thing? Does not appear to have been released yet. Nope. Okay. Well, no way of knowing what it'll take for it to be actually profitable, but if they did not overspend, 600 to 800 million will be a damn solid performance for that movie. Yeah. Like, honestly, I don't know that any of next year's MCU movies are gonna hit $1 billion. Cap definitely won't. There's like no fucking way. I don't think the Thunderbolts will be that popular. I mean, it could be really good, but I don't think it'll be that well loved. Fantastic Four? I don't even know if that one will hit a bit. I don't know, just because this might be too much of a nerdy perspective, but I feel like that one has the best chance to hit $1 billion. And like I said, this might be from a too nerdy of a perspective, but they have the most cachet to me. Like, just the name. You know, I mean, the name Fantastic Four has been known for a long time. Much longer than the Thunderbolts. Not longer than Captain America, because he was World War II, technically. But much longer than Sam Wilson, Captain America. And let's face it, Marvel has not treated that character right. The MCU. I mean, I kind of feel bad for the character and for Anthony Mackie, because they really have not done right by him. Like, he was good in Civil War. And then, like, it just, or not, wasn't not Civil War, Winter Soldier. Like, he had a damn good premiere. You know, and he's been decent since. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, well, that show just didn't do anybody any favors, let's face it. But we all know the history of that one. They basically had to redo it because, you know, the show was going to be about a pandemic, and then we had one. But and let's face it, he still could have been written better over the last time. You like the 05 and 07 Fantastic Four films? They're all right. I don't know. I mean, there's a hard balance to hit between like the seriousness that the Fantastic Four can get into and the fun that the Fantastic Four can get into. Like I mean, you have to have some family jokiness because I mean that's the basic. Fucking around is the basic foundation of the relationship between Ben and Johnny. Like they love fucking with each other. So you know, I mean, there has to be some of that in there, obviously. But I don't think those films hit the serious notes that the Fantastic Four can hit and have hit in the comics. We'll see if they crack that code next July. And if they did, oh baby. Oh, I like Julian McMahon's Doctor Doom. Rob says OG Fantastic Four films were good. Yeah, they were good. Not great. But they were good. They did so much right. Yeah, they did. Until Galactus. You mean the Cosmic Fart Cloud? Oh, I like Julian McMahon's Doctor Doom. At least we know for damn sure Galactus is going to look like Galactus in this Fantastic Four movie. God damn. Yeah, they were good. Not great. They were good. They did so much right. Yeah, at least we know that will not be a problem. You mean the Cosmic Fart Cloud? At least we know for damn sure Galactus. Yeah, those films could have been much darker, but then they tried to remedy that in the redo. But that attempt was horribly executed. Like, what the fuck was that even Doom? Like, what? That wasn't Doom. That was like a chrome zombie with lightning. Brooke says, I'm excited about Galactus and Doom appearing in 2025 Fantastic Four and the fact that it takes place in a more advanced universe in the 1960s. See, here's the thing. We don't know for sure that it's going to be in the actual 1960s, just that things are going to look like a Jetsons version of the 1960s. I mean, it probably is. All the evidence kind of leans that way, especially their uniforms. Because those are definitely some old school. Those are definitely going right after the some of the original looks of the older comics. So, but whether it's actually in the 60s or just in a place with that like resembles the Jetsons version of the 60s is, you know, technically, pedantically, two different things. Yeah, Hurricane Galactus. Yep. Yeah, Fantastic Four 2015, the Hold My Beer movie. Yeah, that's a pretty good summation. Yeah, it's a pretty good summation. For sure. Yeah, retro for sure. But Jetsons style retro, like the amalgam of retro and future. Retro future, future retro. Retrucher, future, retucher, retrucher, futuro. Ooh, futuro. What's that look? Futuro. Kick up your design. Make it futuro. singular look of Futuro. Retro futurism. Exactly. Futuro. That's the word. That's the look. It's Futuro. Retro futurism. Exactly. Futuro. That's the word. Alrighty. We ready to get into it? Let's get into it. Let's talk about some shit. First of all, that's the look. It's Futuro. Rob says, "Oh, watch Transformers 1 on Paramount Plus. The haters need to shut it. Movie was fun." See, that's what I hear. Like a lot of the people whose opinions and, thoughts and whatnot I've come to trust on my YouTubes have all basically said the same thing. The first trailer was so much ass they really didn't want to see it, but when they went and saw it, it was fucking good. See, that's what I hear. So, that movie underperformed, not because the movie itself was crap, but because the marketing was crap. As it turns out. So, we're not going to get all up in it. But let us talk about that Penguin finale, because it's going to lead us into this Batman 2 talk. So how many of us watched the Penguin finale this past Sunday? Transformers 1 was actually kind of dark compared to the way the trailers portrayed it. That's what I keep hearing. That's what I keep hearing. But who watched the Penguin finale? Come on, chat, let me know. Put a 1 in, say I did, whatever, I don't care. Just let me know. What's up, Alan? How you doing? Excuse me. You saw it? Nice. Anybody else? What's up, Alan? How you doing? You're hyped for Batman 2? Cool. What's up, Stanleys? How you doing, man? Welcome in. Bat signal, right? Okay, so in the finale of the Penguin, which was fucking nuts, by the way. A lot of things happened, and by the end of it, Oz had established himself as a completely twisted, evil, sick motherfucker with no doubts. A lot of things happened. And at the very end, bat signal. Okay? Now, there have been any number of people who have been wondering, how could all this be happening without Batman being aware of it and showing up? Now, there are a few plausible explanations. Recovery from that shotgun blast that probably broke some ribs that he took at the end of the movie. That could account for some of the time. There may be bigger things afoot than a gang war in the shittiest part of Gotham. Who knows what he may or may not have discovered. You know, there's a couple, three plausible explanations, but I mean, suffice it to say, would it have been much more cool if the Batman had showed up? Hell yeah. Although I'm gonna give you what I think the actual most reasonable explanation is for why the Batman did not show up in the Penguin. And this is probably exactly what it is. Pattinson didn't fucking want to do it, and they couldn't find enough money to make him. Or they didn't want to spend the money to make him. Or, sorry, not make him. Convince him. That's why there was no Batman in the Penguin. Yep, Catwoman did get a shout out, and I mean, they can bring Zoe Kravitz back anytime they want. God, her and Christina Milioti working together. I mean, story-wise, that'd be dope, and they're both fucking hot, so cool that too. Shit. I mean, who didn't want to be that red scarf? If you know, you know. But yeah, big question. Why in the fuck? Story-wise, I mean, they didn't Pattinson didn't want to / they didn't want to pay him enough to do so is the real world explanation. But story-wise, where the fuck was the Batman? Where was the Caped Crusader? Well, producer of the Batman and the man running this version of the Batverse, Matt Reeves, spoke out. This comes to us from Digital Spy. Batman's absence during the Penguin, explained by Matt Reeves. It's a very, very dangerous time. The Penguin spoilers follow, yes. The Batman spin-off show The Penguin just wrapped up its season finale with a sneaky tease to the Caped Crusader's return as the famous bat signal lit up the Gotham skyline. However, many fans were left questioning why the iconic DC vigilante was absent throughout the show. Speaking exclusively to Digital Spy, the HBO crime drama's executive producer, Matt Reeves, unpacked the dramatic events of the Penguin season finale and revealed why Batman didn't intervene. Reeves, who also directed 2022's The Batman, detailed how the events of the Penguin directly follow on from the film. 1 second. Well, shit. Anyway, apologies. We continue. This was a time of great turmoil in the city. It's literally the week after what happened, Reeves explained. Well, the beginning of the show is, yes, but there was that time jump after they went and found the tunnel. Anyway, much of the city is in desperation, so police can't get everywhere. There's crime everywhere. It's a very, very dangerous time. Batman's out there trying to grapple with the aftermath of everything that happened, which to some degree he blames himself for. So, it seems Oz Cobb may have successfully evaded consequences for now, while Batman's been busy attempting to deal with the fallout of Riddler's explosive plot. However, now as the new kingpin of Gotham's criminal underworld after dethroning Sofia Falcone, it may not be long before the Dark Knight catches up to him. Looking ahead to the Batman Part 2, Reeves revealed fans will see the titular hero entering a challenging new phase as he finds it very hard to be Batman. However, it's not just the return of Robert Pattinson's Batman that was teased in the Penguin's finale. The closing scenes of the season also hinted at a comeback for Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman, a.k.a. Selina Kyle. Locked up once more in Arkham State Hospital, Sophia received a letter from her half-sister Selina. Will Catwoman return as an ally or an enemy to Batman? Fans will have to patiently wait to find out, as the next movie isn't set to be released until October 2026. Batman is going to find it very hard to be Batman.
patiently wait to find out as the
Is
next
anyone else sick of like the tortured hero trope?
Batman is going to find it very
Like
hard
for reals.
to be Batman.
Am I the only one sick of the tortured hero trope?
Is anyone else sick of
Like, obviously, Batman's got fucking trauma. He witnessed his parents being murdered. Reasonable to have trauma. However,
like for reals? Am I the only one sick of the tortured hero trope?
the reluctant troubled hero trope
Like,
is
obviously,
been
Batman's got
beaten
fucking trauma. He witnessed his parents
to death over the last few years.
able to have trauma. However,
Primarily by Lucasfilm. Honestly. Not just them, but they definitely beat the shit out of that trope.
over the last few years.
And it seems like, and it's not just them. Obviously, a lot of stories seem to
Primarily by Lucasfilm.
been leaning into that lately. And
Not just them, but they definitely
I'm fucking over it. It's like, bro, can we get like back to a purely badass Batman, please? Like a fully confident
a lot of stories.
Batman who knows what he's doing and is sure of himself. And it's like, yeah, this is my life, this is my role, this is what I am meant to do, and now I'm gonna go out there and fucking do it. What's up, executive judge? The tortured hero trope. The hero reluctant to be a hero because he or she feels like a fuck up. Like it's being done to death across genres. You know, forget the word hero. Tortured protagonist.
The hero reluctant to be a hero because he feels
It is being done to death.
like a fuck up. Like it's being done to death across genres.
Batfleck was they at least did that one well.
Protagonist.
Like this version is emo.
It is being done to death.
Like Reeves' Batman is emo. Like
Batfleck was they at least did that one well.
to a certain point in his career, of course, Batman has reluctant hero problems. But there comes a point in his career, in more stories than not, where he's like fully confident in himself and his reasons for doing things,
To a certain point in his career, of course, Batman.
and just gets out there and does it and does not give a fuck. That's why he and Superman didn't get along.
But there comes a point in
I mean, you
his career,
think emo Battinson is gonna argue with Superman about anything?
like, fully confident in himself
Nope.
and his reasons for doing things,
He's not.
and just gets out there and does it and does not give a fuck. That's why he and Superman.
Oh yeah, definitely his inner demons drive him, but
And you think emo Battinson is gonna argue with Superman?
yeah, no, Brooke, you're absolutely right. They do say
He's not.
him being all right. You're absolutely right. He is still young.
Oh yeah, definitely his inner demons drive him, but
My point is early career Batman has been done to death.
No, Brooke, you're absolutely right. They do say him being. All right, you're absolutely right.
Now, mind you,
My point is
I love the Nolan trilogy, but let's face it, that's still fairly early career Batman,
also been done to death.
even that trilogy. And they did the traumatized hero thing too at the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises.
Now, mind you,
So, like, there comes a point
I love
in way more Batman stories than not where Batman
really
is fully accepting of who he is and what he needs to do, and is completely unwilling to, like, not to be disallowed to do it. I mean, we're talking about a dude who figured out a way to stop each individual member of the Justice League and then stored that information away. Now, villains got to it and fucked the Justice League up, but I mean, that's the Batman I want. I want a fully matured, fully comfortable in his bat skin Batman. That gets out there, investigates when he needs to, and interrogates when he needs to, and just gets some shit done. You know, the time for early Batman stories is over. The time for young, troubled Batman stories is over. No, Batman did not have a solo movie in the DCEU. He should have. There should have been a solo Batman movie. There should have been Man of Steel 2. They did get the solo Wonder Woman movie out before the Justice League, so that part they at least did right. But yeah, we needed a Man of Steel 2. We needed a solo Batman movie. Not an origin story. But I don't know. I'm just ready for. I'm ready for a Batman who's fully Batman, unashamedly Batman. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that doesn't make sense for how Reeves has set things up, because it does. It very much perfectly sets that up for that version of Batman to be exactly where he's at in the Batman 2. I'm not saying it doesn't make story sense at all. It does. But I'm just a little bit tired of it. My hope, here's my hope. I mean, obviously, there are some definite parallels between the Batman 2 and Spider-Man 2. Because, you know, Toby was like, being Spider-Man's fucking up my life. So he concentrated on MJ, his powers went away, Doc Ock got up some shit. And then, you know, poof, okay, I'm Spider-Man again because I need Spider-Man. I'm hoping that there's going to be a similar trajectory in this movie. But I'm hoping it's faster. Like, I'm hoping he makes the turn from emo Batman to a bit more of a mature Batman by the end of the first act. I know the traditional arc for that is, you know, established emo in the first act, attempt to live normal life in the second act, and get screwed at the second act and have to be badass in the third act, right? That's the general structure. Well, I want the maturity bashed into him by the end of the first act. Like, let's get going on this motherfucker. I mean, that is one advantage that the way Gunn is doing his DCU has. Like, we're not getting fucking origin stories, bro. Not really. I mean, Supergirl's gonna kind of be an origin story. I suppose that one's gonna be an origin story. But we're not getting an origin story for Superman. We're not getting origin stories for individual Lanterns. They're just there. When he brings Batman in, no origin story there. That's going to be a fully grown adult Batman who's been badass for years, who has to contend with his little assassin son that he didn't know existed. That'll be fun.
But we're not getting an origin story for Superman. We're not getting origin stories for individual Lane.
But yeah, I'm just overall.
When he brings back
Overall.
an origin story there, that's going to be a fully grown adult Batman who's been badass for years. Who hasn't protected
I'm tired of
his son that he didn't know existed.
seeing the heroes at their youngest and most inexperienced and all conflicted about their role.
Just overall,
I want them fully formed, ready to do what they need to do, fully believing in the reasons for why they need to do it, and just getting shit done.
conflicted about
Yeah, I like the gritty tone of the Batman. I liked that.
fully formed.
Like that nice down street level shit. I love that shit. Don't get me wrong. That part I liked. And the Penguin really fleshed that part of Gotham out. And I'm down for all that. I just,
Yeah, I like the gritty tone.
the reluctant hero thing is just played out. It's played out.
That nice down.
And I'm ready. I'm ready for
Love that shit. Don't get me
I'm ready for projects that are ready to move beyond that.
wrong. And the Penguin really fleshed
You know what I'm
out
saying?
Gotham out.
That's all.
And I'm down for all that. I just the reluctant hero thing.
Happy Thanksgiving. What's up? You're a little couple weeks early, but sure.
Ready for
I mean, I like me some Thanksgiving food. What's happening, Pickles, you know? Thanks for stopping by.
Happy Thanksgiving. What's up? You're a couple weeks early, but sure.
I mean, yeah, it can. You're right, Executive Judge. It can be made to work. I'm not saying it can't be made to work. I'm just saying I'm tired of people trying to make it work. You know? It's not that I don't think it can work. It can work.
I mean, yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Batman 2 is going to do a pretty good job of it. I'm just overall ready for Hollywood to move on from that particular trope. That's all.
Pretty sure the Batman 2 is going to do a really
Excuse me.
job of it.
So, I mean, I think the Batman 2 is probably going to be pretty fucking good. Honestly. But, you know, more than one thing can be true at the same time. I can think that movie's going to be good, but I can also be ready for that trope to be moved away from.
I mean, I think the
And obviously that's not going to happen in this movie because that would do damage to Matt Reeves' plans, and you know, overall I like them a lot. But, you know, I just wish. That's all. I just wish. What do you guys think, though?
That would do damage to Matt Reeves' plans, and
Is it time for Hollywood to move on
a lot.
from the reluctant, tortured hero as a defining characteristic of a protagonist? Are you ready for that? I'm ready for that. Are you ready for that?
Is it time for Hollywood to move on from the reluctant, tortured hero as a defining characteristic of a protagonist?
What you think, chat?
Are you ready for that? I'm ready for that. Are you ready for that?
Stanley says, you do know that our Pats isn't known for his acting range. Emo Inner Turmoil is kind of all he can do. Well, I mean, he smiled a few times in Harry Potter.
Stanley says, you do know that our Pats isn't known for his acting range.
But yeah, emo does seem to be his strength.
Well, I mean, he smiled a few times in Harry Potter.
I mean, who knows? He may, it may not be all his fault, because let's face it, how many movies did he have to play Edward? And Edward is basically an emo, sparkly vampire. Don't get me wrong. I like those books and I like those movies. I enjoy them. But, you know, it doesn't change the fact that he's basically a sparkly emo vampire.
It may not be all his fault.
Like, honestly, I think him and Kristen Stewart's faces are, like, literally frozen in those tortured expressions now.
Don't get me wrong. I like those books and I like those movies. I enjoy them. But, you know, it doesn't change the fact that he's basically a sparkly emo vampire.
Brooks says, enough origin superhero movies need to move forward, at least for major heroes. Yes. Daniel Fisher, yes, we need more stories beyond the origins. Executive Judge, I just got sick out of nowhere today. That sucks. Yeah, it does. Bro, I'm sorry. Hope it's not too bad, and I hope you feel better soon. That blows. That's no bueno. Hearts in the chat for Executive Judge. Him needs to feel better. Send him some vibes. Brooks says Robert Pattinson is a good Batman, but not a super good Bruce Wayne, since Bruce Wayne persona needs to be more outgoing and social. Yeah. I mean, Bruce Wayne is, in like 90+% of the Batman stories, a socialite, a philanthropist. You know, he's out there in the community doing rich philanthropist things. So yeah, this he's when it comes to being Bruce Wayne, it's definitely not the strong part of the story. Well, people don't like it when I shit on Matt Reeves, I guess. Oh well. Can't please everybody. Thanks, Daniel. So, but that's all I got to say about that. Any more thoughts about that from you guys? If not, we is going to move on to all kinds of Marvel goodness. We're going to be spending a lot of time with the Cosmic Circus. Because Alex Perez's November Discord, he has dropped 3 parts, and there's still one more coming. We won't even get that shit till next week. But we have 3 parts to go through. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them, like every last little section of them. Just the ones that are, like, salient to us and the stuff that we actually care about in the world of the MCU. All right, so y'all ready? Part 1 of the Discord Q&A, hosted by one Alex Perez of the Cosmic Circus. Agent Carter. I mean, yes, please give me Agent Carter, because Haley Atwell is awesome as Agent Carter, and she's beautiful. So we don't care. Armor Wars. Yeah, we can talk about that real quick. Part 4 will be Monday, probably? Yeah, probably. Tuesday at the latest. No, I'm not against an Armor Wars project. I just thought it would be stupid to try and cram it in before Secret Wars, but now they're not going to do that, so I'm interested again. So let's see. Is Armor Wars canceled? Nope. It really isn't. I understand the skepticism with it, but much like Blade, Marvel Studios wants to get it right and wants to make sure it not only delivers a story worthy of one of the MCU's longest-running characters, but also fits in the current storyline of the MCU. One of the things I love the most about it is that while RDJ is not really involved in this project at all, the legacy Tony Stark left behind will be put under a magnifying glass and examined from top to bottom, and how his choices left ripple effects to those around him. I mean, if that's one thing that Tony Stark is well known for in the comics, is his decisions, is the ripple effects of his decisions. That is for sure. But I would also like to take this opportunity to let you know that there's an Armor Wars storyline set during the Secret Wars 2015 comic event, so who knows if they use that story as inspiration for the movie. Well, yeah, but it's still not coming out before Secret Wars, Alex. So who the fuck cares? Doomsday. Will Star-Lord and the Guardians return? Doesn't have anything written on Guardians aside from what he's written before, and I'm not clicking on it. Will Namor sit out? I haven't heard much about Namor for the Avengers films as much as I've heard about what's happening afterward with him, and it's actually quite exciting in a way because I'm terrified of the ocean. Well, I mean, that's not surprising that we're not really going to see Namor much. I mean, he does actually play a huge part in Secret Wars, but then again, so does T'Challa. And their hatred of each other actually is a large undercurrent in the Hickman Secret Wars run. So, as we are not going to really be having any T'Challa, we really don't need any Namor, honestly. Stanley says, Haley Atwell should have gotten her own movie as Peggy Carter. Oh, yes, definitely. And it should have taken someplace tropical. Okay, here we go. Hey, Alex, any surprise team-ups pairings you're hearing for Avengers Doomsday? Alex says, I'm going to let you in on a pairing I've heard rumored for a while now, and it's made its way already on social media, but there is credence to the rumor of the Scarlet Witch being paired up with Doctor Doom for Doomsday. But I do want to clarify that this isn't some weird marriage scenario like it is in the comics. Wanda's goal will be to try to undo the mistakes she made whilst using the Darkhold. This is going to be all about her redemption arc. Let's talk about that bit for a second, shall we? I'll get to that in a minute, Executive Judge. Wanda, Alex is saying Wanda is going to be paired up with Doctor Doom in Doomsday. They won't be married, necessarily, but they are going to be involved. Now, he's saying that Wanda's only involving herself with Doom to try and undo the mistakes she made while using the Darkhold. I mean, that's highly similar to a possible plot line for Spider-Man 4. Doom granting people what they want in order to manipulate them. So it's interesting that they're going to put them together, but yet not go all the way like they did in the comics. But on the other hand, that's not really that big deal. The fact that it's going to be all about her redemption arc, I know the Wanda stans and the haters of Multiverse of Madness are going to be thrilled about, even though they're all fucking completely wrong, and she was set up to be a villain from jump in that movie by WandaVision. They ruined her character. No, they didn't. Waldron didn't pay attention to WandaVision. Oh, yes, he did. It's y'all that fucking didn't. I'll explain why some other time. I already have once. I'll do it again, but not today. Not right now, at least, anyway. Maybe later. Someone can bring it up if you want to know that badly. But what else does this mean? Well, I'll tell you. I will tell you what else this means. Or what else I think it means. I think it means that all the little hints they've been dropping about the Children's Crusade storyline being somewhat prominent is absolutely what they're doing. Because Children's Crusade is Billy being reincarnated, Billy and Tommy being reincarnated, Billy finding Tommy. They add in the Young Avengers in the comics, and we could get, we could end up with Ms. Marvel and Kate Bishop helping those two along, trying to find Mom. But the basic premise is Billy and Tommy and friends going to try and find Wanda, and in the comics, when they do, she is in Latveria with Doom. They're going to be together in Doomsday. They're so doing Children's Crusade. They are so finding Tommy in Vision Quest.
Doom.
Or at least Vision is going to find Tommy in Vision Quest. I don't know if
They're going to be together.
Billy and Ghostitha are going to join them in that or later, or if they'll meet up in the beginning of Doomsday, or maybe in a show between the two.
They are so finding Tommy in Vision Quest.
That part I haven't quite figured out yet. But it will culminate
Vision is going to find Tommy.
with them finding Wanda with Doom in Doomsday.
Billy and Ghostitha are going
Crusade could be the B plot, yes.
or later, or if they'll meet up in the beginning of Doomsday, or maybe
When do I think Wanda's arc could end as a whole?
in
Not for a long fucking time. Because
that part
they're working on a solo movie for her that's going to come out after Secret Wars.
with them.
Wanda is a massive presence in the Mutant Saga. There's all kinds of fun shit they can do with her. Technically, House of M happens before Children's Crusade in the comics. Like, she went to Latveria and, like, all kinds of fucked up shit happened to her after she did the No More Mutants thing. But, as we all know, the MCU never goes one-to-one on the comics. They adapt storylines and do it and, you know, tweak them to make them fit what they want to do. So,
Children's Crusade in the comics.
Wanda's going to be around for a minute.
Latveria and all kinds of fucked up shit
Now,
happened to her.
on the other hand, we were all thinking that the solo movie they've been talking about for her was going to be her redemption arc. But if her redemption arc is going to be in Doomsday,
One-to-one on the comics. They adapt storylines and, you know, tweak them to make them fit what they want to do. So, well, I'm going to be around for a minute. Now, on the other hand, we were all thinking
Shit.
that the solo movie they've been talking about for her was going to be her redemption arc. But if her redemption arc is going to be in Doomsday,
so, but that, regardless of what order it happened in the comics, there's plenty of room for them to turn that Scarlet Witch movie into maybe the conclusion of a House of M storyline that they're going to throw into the Mutant Saga.
so, but that,
Mm?
regardless of what order it happened in the comics, there's plenty of room for them to turn that Scarlet Witch movie into.
Maybe. Maybe the redemption could culminate in the Wanda Solo film, executive judge says. I mean, yeah, she could. No, if they're going to put her through a redemption arc in Doomsday, it needs to be done by the end of the Multiverse Saga. It needs to be done so she can be set and ready for the next one. That should definitely not be carried over into Phase 7. They need to have her redeemed by the end of Phase 6 and ready to go on a new path post soft reboot and Secret Wars. Now, what's going to be interesting is she's obviously a mutant in the comics, and she is currently not recognized as a mutant in the MCU. So why would she be all up involved with the mutants in the Mutant Saga? I got a little thought about that. And this would apply also to Pietro. What if? I mean, obviously it was presented in Ultron that their abilities were given to them by the Mind Stone that was inside the Scepter, which is why she could work with, which is why she was the only one that could destroy the Mind Stone out of Vision. However, what if it wasn't the Mind Stone itself that gave them their powers? What if the Mind Stone triggered their latent X genes? Instead of them being naturally triggered by, like, puberty or whatever, like they are in most mutant stories, what if theirs were, for whatever reason, more latent, and it was the Mind Stone that triggered them, and they actually are, well, in Pietro's case was mutants. Xavier Judge says maybe they could be done with phases as a whole. I noticed they don't even specify the phases anymore on Disney Plus. True, but they do still separate by sagas. And her redemption arc needs to be done this saga, which still means done before Secret Wars is over. And before they start the mutant saga. So I'm... I think they could go that route and still make her a mutant. I think they could say the same thing for Ms. Marvel, is that the Bangles triggered her X gene. Who else is out there in the MCU that should be a mutant and isn't being recognized as one currently? I mean, yes, they did play the little music at the end of the Whatchamahooter, at the very end of Ms. Marvel, but that still doesn't rule out the fact that it could have been the Bangles that triggered her X gene. Agatha did say her powers did get amplified by the Mind Stone when she met Wanda properly near the end of WandaVision. Right. Exactly. I didn't even remember that. Good catch, Executive Judge. I appreciate that. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't necessarily amplified. Maybe it was just triggered. Namor's a mutant in the MCU? Yes. Yes, he is. Good catch, Executive Judge. I appreciate that. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't necessarily amplified. Maybe it was just... I'm thinking of other characters like Wanda and Pietro that should be mutants but really aren't referred to that. Yes. And really, Ms. Marvel is only... That little music was only a hint. You know? Griff says, I wonder if there will still be a connection between... Oh, by the way, what up, Griff? I wonder if there will still be a connection between Wanda and America Chavez going forward. Wanda did use some of her power. They could continue that thread. They could. I mean, as the only creature, being, entity, person in the multiverse that doesn't need help from either technology or spell to travel the multiverse, you would think America Chavez is going to play a reasonably significant part in the ending of the multiverse saga. You'd think. Although I don't, unless I miss something, I haven't heard shit about her. I don't even know if she gets brought up in any of these Q&As. I kind of hope she does, because again, she's the only person, being, entity, whatever, who can travel the multiverse without aid of any kind. Everyone else needs technology or magic to do it. Or some combination of both if you're Doctor Doom. So while, like, she was just an okay character in Multiverse of Madness, her power set almost seems like it'd be required to finish off the Multiverse saga, you know? Exactly, Executive Judge. She could come in handy during the big showdown against Doom. Brooks says, would love it if they could make Wanda a mutant would love if they could make Wanda a mutant. Also in the comics, isn't the deviant gene what gives mutants their powers? May need a refresher. Yeah, there's... What is it? Is it the Judgment Day storyline? Where it turns out the X gene is basically descendant from deviant genes or whatever. So technically the mutants are deviants, and that's why the Celestials want, or that's why the Eternals want to wipe them out. But on the other hand, the Eternals don't want the Celestials to wipe out Earth, so like it's ends up being mutants versus Eternals versus Celestials. It's a whole big thing. And honestly, I am 99% sure that they are going to adapt that in some way during the Mutant Saga. Because it has been well noised about that we are not done with the Eternals. But there's literally no reason for them to be touched until after Secret Wars. And what's the best way to bring them back in Secret Wars? When in the Mutant Saga? and that is to bring in the fact that mutants are technically a descendants of deviants and therefore automatically hated by Eternals, and the Celestials are still pissed off at Earth from the end of the Eternals too. Yep, Judgment Day. Thank you, Griff. Like, I can totally see coming to theaters, X-Men, Judgment Day. And they could split into two parts. Make it X-Men Eternity Wars, where the X-Men and the Eternals go at it for a while. And then X-Men Judgment Day, when they have to team up to defend the planet against the Celestials. Yeah. Yeah. What do y'all think of that shit? How about dem apples? Do I think Judgment Day will be the end game of the mutant saga? No, I feel like they'll use House of M for that. Because you're going to need a ton of mutants for that, for Judgment Day. Like a ton. What's up, Travis? X-Men seems the center focus than the Avengers after Secret Wars. Oh, definitely. I mean, Feige's practically hasn't flat out said that, but he's said it. You know what I mean? He said it without flat out saying it. Brooke says, that sounds dope. Big cosmic wars with mutants? Hard to top that. I know. And don't forget, it's not like they're just going to be ignoring the Fantastic Four and the Avengers during the mutant saga. They just won't be the focus. They're still going to be there. They're still going to be active. How the hell was WandaVision an adaptation of House of M? They hadn't even acknowledged mutants at that point. They're still going to be there. They're still going to be active in the MCU. How the hell was WandaVision an adaptation of House of M? They hadn't even acknowledged mutants at that point. Travis says, I imagine Eros tells the Eternals they'll need the one person on Earth to kill a Celestial. Cut to Hangin' Tough by New Kids plays as Star-Lord puts 2 frosting packets on 1 toaster strudel. I mean, the only thing I'm not sure about that is the New Kids, because I don't remember hearing anything from 80s pop genre in any of those playlists, in any Guardians movies. I could be wrong. I could very easily be wrong. I'm just saying I don't remember any. Although, I'd be down for some New Kids. I mean, it's not like Star-Lord has any qualms about dancing. Maybe the new Guardians could play a huge role on with the next saga being a bit more cosmic in scale. Yeah, that's literally the best way to bring them back in. I mean, just think about what you get. Think of Scarlet Witch versus Phoenix, right? I mean, think about all the cosmic shit you get with the X-Men. You get the Shi'ar. You get the M'Kraan Crystal. You get Phoenix. You get the Phoenix Force. I mean, the X-Men are literally just as much cosmic as they are Earth-based. Or the mutants, at least. I mean, think about all the cosmic shit you get with the X-Men. You get... I mean, then, you know... Even if you want to keep the mutants Earth-based for a while, the Fantastic Four is still going to be around. You can go cosmic with them any old time. They live there. Shit. And it's not like the Avengers haven't gone cosmic either. You can rotate. They could easily rotate cosmic stories through all 3 groups if they wanted to. Merge them, separate them again. I mean, that's what we like. I know we're all dead ass concentrated on Doomsday and Secret Wars. And while how the MCU is going to look after Secret Wars has come up, but have we ever like really thought about it? We are going to have finally all of the toys. except Spider-Man.
I know we're all dead-ass
Fully.
concentrated on Doomsday
Technically,
Superpowers.
he's still Sony's. But with Sony and the MCU Sony and Marvel keep working out deals, that really doesn't matter. So, but basically, after May 2027, we are going to have all the toys. And we're going to be able Feige's going to be able to mix and match them. And Feige's going to be a fucking 7-year-old. Actually, no, fuck that. No, yeah. He's going to be like a 7 to 10-year-old with a pile of fucking action figures just going, ooh, what storyline can I adapt to make this person fight with this one, and team up with this one? Oh, it's going to be crazy. The options are going to be insane.
No, yeah. He's going to be like a 7 to 10-year-old with a pile of fucking action figures.
Feige's going to have all the toys to mix and match as he sees fit. All in the name of entertaining us.
This one and team up with this one. Oh, it's going to be crazy. The options are going to be insane.
Travis says you have Star-Lord teaming up with the Eternals and Thanos' brother, which I think is enough to bring Gamora back into the story. Also, Star-Lord killed a Celestial, preventing an expansion. Yeah. Ego was a bit of a different kind of Celestial, though. Like, the Celestials we're going to be dealing with from now on are basically going to be Erisham, or Erisham, however the fuck you pronounce that. You know, the big old fuckers with the 6 eyes.
Travis says here, Star-Lord teaming up with the Eternals and Thanos' brother, which I think is enough.
Think Star-Lord is on Erisham's shit list?
Star-Lord killed a
I
Celestial.
mean, probably. Well, Earth is on Erisham's shit list, so...
Ego was a bit of a different kind of Celestial, though. Like, the Celestial
Like, if Ego was off by himself, he probably pissed off the rest of the Celestials, too.
however the fuck you pronounce that. You know, the big old fuckers with the 6 eyes.
Executive Judge, what would the Shi'ar look like in live action, asked Griff?
I mean, probably. Well, Earth is on Erisham's shit list, so...
I don't know. Hopefully pretty close to how they looked in the animated in the comics.
Pissed off the rest of the Celestials, too.
You know, with the weird headdresses and shit.
What would the Shi'ar look like in live action, asked Griff?
I don't know. I just want the fucking Royal Garden action, dude. Like Guardian's a beast. Is it Guardian? What's his fucking name? God damn it.
You know, with the weird headdresses and...
Glide? No. What the fuck is his name? The head of the goddamn guard. You know who I'm talking about. Help me out with that one. That dude's a fucking beast. Executive says, hopefully they have a plan this time instead of going squirrel like, oh, they do. Feige knows what went wrong, and we have plenty of evidence in front of us to that effect. And that he's... Is it Gladiator? Damn. Yeah, that motherfucker. I want to bring the Shi'ar in just for that motherfucker.
Feige knows what went wrong, and we have plenty of evidence in front of us
And I know they have yet to get it right,
to that effect.
but I do want to see him take one more crack at the Phoenix story, but proper like this time, with the Shi'ar and the Emkron Crystal.
I want to bring the Shi'ar in just for that motherfucker.
You know, if you're going to do it, fucking do it.
And I know they have yet to get it right.
But yeah, Feige has a plan this time, and he's going to be all up in it this time.
Proper like this time with the Shi'ar.
I mean, Feige started on mutants. The X-Men is where he started,
If you're gonna do it, fucking do it.
with Fox. The mutants are Feige's babies, bro.
But yeah,
The Shi'ar arcs was my favorite part of the X-Men animated show, says Brooke. Yeah, they're good.
I mean, Feige started on mutants. The X-Men is where he started
Yeah.
with Fox.
Oh, hell. That's still this paragraph. Alex continues. Another pairing I will find interesting is what Doctor Strange and Clea are doing in the Dark Dimension. I have been investigating this for a while, and what I'm curious in seeing is the reaction the heroes of Earth 616 will have to when we see Strange next, because by all accounts and purposes, Stephen Strange has been gone for 2 whole years by the time we reach Doomsday, and he's left the Sanctum unguarded as well. And he certainly didn't tell Wong where he was going, so that's a reunion I'm very much looking forward to seeing. I mean, that makes sense. Time. Does time even move in the dark dimension? Or does it just flow very differently? Does anyone know which it is? But, well, I mean, whichever it is, it's... If Strange was in there for 2 years of normal Earth 616 time, who the fuck knows how much time could have passed for him? At least how much time felt like passed for him. He could have been in there for what we would have think of as years, but if there's no time in there, he's not going to age. But he's still going to be doing a lot of shit. Now, personally, actually, I thought that maybe Clea was going to end up being a Black Swan, but I mean, they still haven't announced Doc Strange 3 yet, like that it's going to happen, when they're going to start on it. And if they're going to make Clea back a Black Swan, that means they would have to be adapting Time Runs Out, which means that they would have to start on Doc Strange 3 literally tomorrow, because it would need to be the movie in the February spot before May's Doomsday. Because Time Runs Out is what leads into... I mean, technically they could adapt Time Run... Really what they should do is start Time Runs Out in Doc Strange 3 and finish it in Doomsday. But I don't know, like, there's literally been... I don't know if they're going to be able to get Doc Strange 3 out before Doomsday, so I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that story-wise anymore. I agree. It makes way more sense for it to come out before Doomsday. But there's literally no word. At all on that movie, outside of the fact that they're looking at Raimi to direct it. Like, no one's announced a writer. No one's announced Raimi officially as the director. They haven't announced us. They haven't announced castings. They haven't announced us. They've announced nothing. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I agree with you. I think in order for it to make the most sense, I feel like it has to happen. I just don't know if it's going to. If not before Doomsday, then definitely before Secret Wars, yes. Yep, Daniel, just the Raimi rumors. That's it. That is all we have heard about Doc Strange 3. And frankly, that's fucking annoying. To me. It's like Doc Strange 3 would literally be the perfect setup to go into Doomsday. Like, have him running around with Clea for a while, and then it finds out at the end that Clea is a Black Swan working for Rabumalal. And then right at the end of Doc Strange 3, he gets introduced to Rabumalal, finds out that's Doom, and that not only is that Dr. Doom, but Dr. Doom has the face of Tony fucking Stark. And then they go into Doomsday from there. Like, that is literally what makes the most sense. I don't know how they're going to pull that off now. I got no fucking clue. Dave Judge says, I guess they don't want another Blade situation if they're not sure when things will be cooking up for... I mean, that, yes. Yeah, yeah, when it comes to announcements, don't be Lucasfilm. Is basically the name of that game. Griff says, I'm curious as to how they're going to write Doc Strange's story with his photographic memory and knowledge of the Darkhold. That's got to be doing something to his mind. Oh, it definitely is. That's why he's got the third eye.
Yeah, when it comes to announcements, don't be Lucasfilm. Is basically the name of that.
I mean, we never saw Wanda grow the third eye, no matter how much she fucked with the Darkhold. But the Darkhold is, like you said, the Darkhold is literally part of his fucking brain now. It's not like he can bury it somewhere to get away from its influence. It's fucking there. And a lot of people don't think about that either. Like, I don't really see too many people bringing that point up. It's Like the Darkhold is 100% destroyed in every universe. But the knowledge in it is not. It's in the brain of one Stephen Strange. Isn't the third eye like a boost in power or something? I'm not 100% sure how it worked. It's representative of the power of the Darkhold. So in that fashion, I imagine it could indicate a boost in power for sure. I don't know that it actually... I don't think it's the boost itself. I think it's an indicator of the boost. In the actual book, yes, but don't forget, he was dreamwalking inside Zombie Strange, and Zombie Strange saw every inch of the walls in that cave, and every inch of the walls in that cave was covered with the Darkhold. The whole Darkhold was carved on the interior of that cave. And while Zombie Strange was talking to America, while Wong was getting his ass beat by Wanda again, he was looking around the whole time. Everything he saw, everything Zombie Strange saw in that cave is now in the mind of the living Dr. Stephen Strange. It is entirely possible that Dr. Stephen Strange is carrying the entire lexicon of the Darkhold in his brain, courtesy of his photographic memory. That's what I think. I think he has that whole motherfucker due to the fact that Zombie Strange was staring around that whole fucking cave. And if Steven sees it, it's in his brain. And he was seeing everything Zombie Strange saw. Oh, it definitely would be the most ideal scenario. I just don't know how in the fuck they can pull it off at this point. Yeah. What do we got next? Oh, yeah, this is a fun one. What do you see the role of the TVA being in Doomsday? The TVA feels too powerful to continue existing aligned with the protagonists. Having a group that powerful to me almost seems to defeat the purpose of the Avengers. That is a good point. Alex, the TVA is not as powerful as they'd want you to think. Really? It will be an interesting location set piece for a couple of scenes they plan to do. Well, I'm sure, because outside the TVA in the throne at the end of time is one god of stories, Loki, holding the fucking threads of the multiverse together. Yeah, the TVA is important. Tommy says, besides Fantastic Four, how important is next year's slate for Doomsday and Secret Wars? Yes, that 9-project 2025 slate. Alex says, next year's Marvel slate has a lot of interesting factors that will build upon the foundation for the next Avengers films. The big role some of these projects have is setting up where all the major players for the next Avengers films are going to be. So, for example, Captain America Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Asterisk, Fantastic Four, Blade, Wonder Man, and Ironheart have the task of setting up the major players involved in Avengers Doomsday. Wonder Man and Ironheart are going to be major players in Doomsday? The fuck? Okay, what if Season 3, I heard, will also have a very important setup that'll come into play later on when it comes to the Avengers films, and there is a chance we may see characters like Uatu, Captain Carter, and Kahori step up. The rest of the slate right now is more isolated and has stories that aren't all that important to the multiverse narrative as far as I can tell. Okay, good. So I hope you can take Wonder Man and Ironheart and throw them right in that last sentence, as far as I'm concerned. Brooke says, technically Darkhold isn't destroyed then, more like its contents just transferred to Doctor Strange's brain, just that the original medium of that knowledge is gone. Well, the Darkhold itself was the book and the cave, so yeah. But the knowledge remains. Like, if I memorized this and then set it on fire, this would be gone. But the knowledge wouldn't. Executive Judge says, I'm thinking the TVA will be destroyed in Doomsday or Secret Wars. Could potentially mean the end for Loki, this time for good. It's going to have to be in Doomsday because the TVA can't exist in, or won't exist in a reformed Doom-controlled universe. At least that's what makes the most sense to me. Doom doesn't share. And he definitely ain't sharing with the TVA. Here we go. Are there any Marvel Legacy characters, Tobey Maguire, Wesley Snipes, Nicolas Cage, etc., returning in Doomsday? There have been conversations and ideas about practically all Marvel Legacy characters, but the important thing here is not to bring them in for the sake of a small one-and-done cameo appearance, and that's a very big part of why they are so selective with the appearances of these characters. Feige and company want these characters to serve a purpose and actually have some action to them, a story to tell, if you will, no matter how short it may be, and you can see it in their previous executions. That is true. If you look back at these appearances, all the way from Spider-Man No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, The Marvels, and even Deadpool and Wolverine, the appearance of these legacy characters served a purpose to the story. Marvel Studios honor their past and give them their moments to shine, but that's the spirit and driving force behind these legacy appearances. They have to serve a purpose to the story. But that's like a massive side answer to your question. My bad. To answer your question, yes, you can expect legacy appearances in both Doomsday and Secret Wars. If I were to add one more suggestion for a possible legacy appearance that could serve a purpose to the story, a Council of Reeds featuring Ian Griffith, Miles Teller, John Krasinski, and maybe even Alex Hyde White, along with other actors rumored to be up for the role like Adam Driver, could show up at some point in the near future. To answer your question, yes, you can expect legacy appearances in both Doomsday and Secret Wars. If I were to add one more suggestion for a possible legacy appearance that could serve a purpose to the story, a Council of Reeds. All right, there's literally no fucking way Alex brings this up if we're not getting a fucking Council of Reeds. There's just no way he brings it up if we're not getting a Council of Reeds. We're getting a fucking Council of Reeds, bro. And it would not surprise me if they actually got the homie from the 05 and 07 movies, the homie from the 15 movie, the homie that got spaghettified, and the homie from the non-released movie. And if they can get like rumored actors, Adam Driver I mean, even if that's just a one and done for him, like the Council of Reeds gets dispersed in like the ending of Doomsday, whatever, bro. Actually, they probably wouldn't get dispersed till after Secret Wars, because in the comics, the Maker was in Secret Wars. He was on Battleworld. I don't know about y'all, but I am now 95% certain we are getting the fucking Council of Reeds, bro, or a form of it. Some form of the Council of Reeds. And how fucking dope would that be? Like, honestly, I don't even think they need to wait for Doomsday for the Council of Reeds. But I am now 95% certain we are getting a fucking Council of Reeds, or a form of it. But I'm fucking stoked for the Council of Reeds. Give me all the Council of Reeds. I mean, think about it. It would only make sense. And this is going to come up again later. But the name of the production company for the Fantastic Four was Solve Everything Productions. And when 616 Reed Richards found the Council of Reeds, he at that time was trying to solve the problem of everything. That was his goal in building the bridge and searching the multiverse. He was looking for answers to solve the problem of everything and found a bunch of his other variants who were also trying to solve the problem of everything, and decided if they all got together, that solving the problem of everything would be a fuck ton easier. I mean, at this point, we're basically being slapped in the face with the Council of Reeds. Now, is that guaranteed? No. But I think it's pretty fucking likely at this point.
I mean, at this point, we're basically
I mean,
slapped in the face with the
like Josh says, it's not one thing that makes something true. It's not one thing over here that makes something true. It's you take this bit of information, 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 and when you cram it all together,
But I think it's pretty
you get a good picture.
like
And when you start cramming all this evidence together, oh baby, Council of Reeds.
one thing over here that makes something true is you take this bit of information, 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 and when you cram it all together.
Brooke says Council of Reeds sounds dope. Yep. The Maker showing up though would be cooler. Yes. Feel like the Maker is more terrifying than Doom. Let's not go overboard. I mean, he's up there, but Doom. And when it comes down to it, the Maker is, yes, he is a super genius like Reed Richards, minus Reed Richards' morals. But Doom is still the equal, or close enough to the equal of any version of Reed Richards in intelligence to where it won't matter. Plus, he is a sorcerer, a sorcerer supreme level of magic user.
He is a super genius like Reed Richards, minus Reed Richards' morals. But Doom is still
More scary than the Maker for me.
close enough.
Executive Judge says Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be No Way Home on steroids. It's going to be insane. I mean,
He is a
yeah.
sorcerer
Honestly, I think they're going to be better though.
of magic user.
But yeah, that I mean, No Way Home was
More scary than
the first.
Executive Judge says Doom.
Well, no, technically, Multiverse of Madness was the first really, really multiverse movie in the Multiverse saga.
Honestly, I think they're going to be better though.
You know,
But
I mean, WandaVision wasn't an alternate universe. That was
the first
one town that got the shit hexed out of it.
Multiverse of Madness was the first really
Um,
movie.
Yeah, the only real multiverse projects we've had that I can think of off the top of my head, and please feel free to correct me, is Doc Strange 2 and No Way Home.
One town that got the shit hexed out.
And then now the Marvels. Out of all the projects, out of the three phases that comprise the multiverse saga, there's been
Off the top of my head,
3
please feel free to correct me.
that have really been like multiverse driven.
Doc Strange 2 and No Way Home. And then now the Marvels.
You think that might be a reason why the multiverse saga has been mostly ass?
The three, out of the three phases
Like
that
shit.
comprise the Multiverse Saga, there's been 3.
But yeah, Council of Reeds, motherfuckers, is fucking coming. If we count the shows, there's Loki as well. Yes, true. Thank you. So far. Yeah, but out of how many projects still?
I think that might be a reason why the Multiverse Saga has been mostly ass.
I mean, you could sort of make an argument for Shang-Chi. Although that's more of a dimension thing, and dimensions are a bit different from universes because technically dimensions are outside of time and space, and the multiverse is
Yeah, but out of how many
literally
projects?
time and space. So, I mean, that could be
And you could
that could be an interesting debate, but
for Shang-Chi,
trying to convince someone that Shang-Chi's multiversal is not a hill I'm going to die on.
different from universes because technically dimensions are outside of time and space.
Captain Britain, don't fucking care.
Literally time and space. So I mean that could be an interesting debate.
Captain Marvel, don't fucking care.
Trying to convince someone that Shang-Chi's multiverse.
Nope, that was it for part 1.
Die on.
That was it for part 1. Wasn't that fun? There's still 2 parts to go. And one more story after that.
Captain Marvel. Don't fucking care.
But, here we go. All right. I need to moisten my throat. I'll be right back. I'll give you a little music. All right. Moisten my throat. I'll be right back. I'll give you a little music. Okie dokie. Yeah, buckle in, motherfuckers. We still got 2 parts to go and then another story. A lot of time spent on the Cosmic Circus website, but it's all worth it! Okay. Now we move on to part 2. It's been 3 years since we were introduced to Dane Whitman in Eternals. What do you see happening with this character in the future?
Buckle in, motherfuckers.
Dane's goal right now is to try and find a way to save Cersei, but he's desperate and has no idea what to do, which is what leads to the post-credit scene in Eternals. Where does his story go from there? Last I heard, Dane is meant to team up with Blade on the road to Midnight Suns, and Blade will help him train with the Ebony Sword so he can become the Black Knight. This also ties into what I was talking about earlier, Marvel Studios' interest in telling stories with characters from across the pond. Yeah, I don't care about that. I mean, that is cool, though, because I mean, we got our first hint of Blade thanks to this post-credit scene with Dane Whitman, so it only makes sense. Daredevil Born Again, hell yeah. Hey Alex, thank you for doing these as always. We appreciate it. Yes, we fucking do. Is Bullseye going to play a larger role in Season 2 of Born Again? That's too early for me to say, unfortunately, although he plays an interesting role in Born Again. Not necessarily a lot of action, though. More psychological warfare-based, if you will. He's going to hit Matt where it hurts. I mean, there's going to be some action. We saw it in the trailer. So, is there anything interesting that you haven't shared about Muse as a character in Born Again that you think people would want to know? Muse is part of the reason why this show is going to be TVMA. He's going to be one of these villains that will send chills down your spine. There isn't going to be a single redeeming quality about this guy. Ooh. And it will scare the living crap out of everyone, even Matt. But even more so, it's a character that pushes both Matt and Fisk beyond their limits, especially with Matt. Matt's never killed anyone intentionally in his show. And with everything that happens in this show, and what Matt is forced to live through, you get the feeling that he's had enough and has to take matters into his own hands by any means necessary, and that's kind of what's going to make this show more special. Bro, what? Damn, they're going to be running Matt down a line where he's going to be starting to think a lot like Frank Castle thinks. Holy shit! I cannot wait for this fucking show, bro. What is it, November now? December, January, February, March. Only 4 months. That's it. Less than, because it debuts, I think, on March 5th. Something like that. And it's the 16th today, so a little less than 4 months now. Hell yes, I'm so excited for this fucking show. Some of Muse's powers from the comics are superhuman strength and imperceptibility. Were these powers kept in Daredevil Born Again, or they made him grounded and realistic with no powers at all? It's to my understanding that Muse has powers. Really? Man, everything I hear about this show makes me so much more hyped about it. Could Daredevil Born Again get a season 3, or is it really just a 2-season plan?
It's to my understanding that
Oh, it definitely will get multiple seasons. Oh, fuck yeah. Give me all the Daredevil.
really, man, everything I hear about this show makes me so much.
I love that.
about it.
Ooh, Dr. Doom.
Could Daredevil Born
When it
Again
comes to Dr. Doom, will the role as portrayed by RDJ truly only appear in a Doomsday and Secret Wars and then be replaced by a Sacred Timeline version sometime down the line, sort of like the ones in No Way Home?
all the
Or
Daredevil?
will RDJ's Doom stick around? If so, has there been any word on what will become of the Kangs in the future?
When it comes to Dr. Doom, will the role
Fuck
as
that
portrayed
Kang.
by
To quote
RDJ
Josh,
truly
get that
only
Kang on my
appear in
face.
Doomsday
Anyway.
and Secret Wars and then be replaced
I
by
really don't have an answer on that for you, but I don't think RDJ's Doom will stick around for long. Doom might come back with a reset, but I suspect it might be a new actor and they won't use Doom for a bit. Now, unlike Josh, I think that's dead ass.
To quote Josh, get that King on my face.
I don't think they're going to Tilly's 90 RDJ with Doom.
Answer on that for you, but I don't think RDJ's Doom will stick around for long. Doom might come back with a reset, but I suspect it might be a new actor and they won't.
Bringing RDJ back as Doom was a great idea. One the Russos probably have wanted to do the entire time.
I don't think they're going to Tilly's 90.
But also, at the point Marvel had gotten itself to, highly fucking necessary.
Bringing RDJ back as Doom.
But no, I don't see until he's 90. I don't see a Tilly's 90 scenario for RDJ.
But also,
Nope, I'm actually with Alex on this.
at the point Marvel had gotten itself to, highly fucking.
I think we're gonna get a shit ton of RDJ Doom, and then I think he's gonna kind of disappear after Secret Wars for a while.
I don't see until he's 90.
I mean, obviously they'll bring him back
I don't see until he's
at some point because he's fucking Doom, and Doom always sticks his nose in shit.
I'm actually with Alex.
But they're gonna be hopping deep into mutants, and while it's not like
Kinda RDJ
Doom and the mutants don't interact,
he's gonna kinda
um,
for Secret Wars for a while.
the mutants have a lot of their own specific rogues gallery to play with.
Because he's fucking Doom.
So
Doom always sticks his nose in shit. But they're gonna
I actually think Alex is right on this one.
into mutants, and while it's not like
Moving on. Here's what I know about Kang. There isn't really much they want to do with the character at this point in time because of the attachment to Jonathan Majors, but I don't think they closed the door on his character just yet. Remember, there are a lot of variants out there, and there's always a chance to bring these characters in later on down the road in another capacity. Look at Red Skull.
moving on. Here's what I know about Kang.
Now this I deadass agree with Josh on. What's up, Brady? Watch the replay? Well, thanks for popping in and saying much love. Much love right back to you, bro. Have a good night.
Remember, there are a lot of variants.
See you on the replay.
There's always a chance to bring these characters in
The Russos are finally achieving their childhood dream. So there's this. Yes. But yeah,
This I
Kang.
deadass agree with Josh on. What's up, Brady? Watch the replay.
When
Popping in and saying much
Alex
love.
says
Bro.
down the road and look at Red Skull,
The replay.
he's basically telling you,
Finally achieving their childhood dream.
or telling us all, the following. So far as the multiverse saga is concerned, get that king on my face.
And Alex says
After Secret Wars,
and look at Red Skull.
yeah, he can come back.
He's basically telling you
He can come back in all kinds of forms.
or telling
If
us
you want to
all.
play around with the Young Avengers more after Secret Wars, you can bring him in as Iron Lad.
So far as the multiverse saga is concerned,
You know, you can bring him back as Kang Prime.
after Secret Wars, yeah, he can come back.
You could bring him back as
If you want to play around
not
with the
Victor
Young
Timely, but who is the business owner guy? Was that Victor Timely? I don't know. There's plenty of King variants that you could use to bring him back into the MCU. But yeah, so far as the multiverse saga, forget it. If you even hear the name of Kang
not Victor Timely.
before between now and May of 2027, I will be surprised. I guarantee you ain't seen his fucking face. The most you'll ever get is a passing mention.
If you even hear the name of Kang between now and May of 2027,
Yeah.
I will be surprised.
If you're a fan of Kang,
You ain't seen his fucking face.
at least for the next 2.5,
Most you'll ever get is a
probably closer to 3 or more years, you're fucked. Sorry about your luck. My condolences. Ain't no Kang
If you're a fan of Kang,
for a long time. Long time.
2.5,
That's basically what Alex is telling us.
probably closer to
And
3 or more years, you're fucked.
it was from the end of Captain America, the First Avenger, in 2011, till Infinity War in 2018. That was a 7-year gap in between Red Skull appearances.
It was from the end of Captain America, the first.
So, yeah. 2028, maybe if you're lucky, you might get some Kang again.
Till Infinity War.
Especially since the multiverse saga doesn't end until 2027.
7-year gap in between Red Skull.
Yeah, you're looking at 4 years minimum before you see Kang again in any significant way.
So
Minimum.
2028, maybe if you're lucky, you might get. Some
Ooh,
Kang,
Fantastic Four stuff.
especially since the.
Will
multiverse
Doctor
saga
Doom have
doesn't
any
end
role in Fantastic Four, like even reference or perhaps his presence being felt, or can we really not expect more than a post-credit
4
scene?
years minimum
I can't
before you
comment on that just yet.
see Kang again in any significant way.
Minimum. Ooh, Fantastic Four stuff. Will Doctor Doom have any role in Fantastic Four, like even reference? Will Doctor Doom have any role in Fantastic Four first steps, like even a reference or perhaps his presence being felt, or can we really not expect more than a post-credit scene? I can't comment on that just yet. Are we getting more Doom than we originally thought in the Fantastic Four?
Fantastic Four first steps, like even a reference or perhaps his presence being felt, or can we really not expect more than a post-credit scene? I can't comment on that.
One more time. Will Doctor Doom have any role in Fantastic Four, like even a reference or perhaps his presence being felt, or can we really not expect more than a post-credit scene? I can't comment on that just yet. There's something cooking in there, folks. There's something cooking.
Will Doctor Doom have any role in Fantastic
What it
Four,
is,
like even a reference or
obviously,
perhaps his presence being felt, or can we really not expect more than a post-credit scene? I can't
we don't know yet,
comment on that
but
just yet.
I'll be damned if that doesn't mean that we're looking at some form or fashion of more Doom than just the post-credit.
There's something.
I mean, what else can it be?
What it is?
If he's not willing to comment on it yet,
obviously,
that means he has details about something in the pot on the stove, but no one's told him the fucking ingredients yet. But something's there.
looking at some form or fashion
Something
of more
is there.
I mean,
And more Doom is never bad. Hashtag the stash is canon. God damn it.
that means he has details about something in the pot on the stove, but no one's told him the fucking ingredients yet. But something's there.
Something is there. How about this hashtag?
And more Doom is never bad. Hashtag the stash is canon. God damn it.
As of this morning.
How about this hashtag?
Oh, whoops. Okay. So how about that shit, folks? We getting more Doom. They have a surprise for us. I'm all for it, says Brooke. Fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah. We know Galactus will be the main villain of Fantastic Four, but will there be any of the other big names from the F4's Rogues Gallery that may appear? Like Mole Man, Namor, Annihilus, etc.? Oh yeah, Namor's a thing in the Fantastic Four. Oh no, no, I'm not an anti-Pedro believer. I think Pedro's going to kill it as Reed Richards. I just think he should have shaved or grown the beard. Just there's no iteration of Reed Richards which is just fucking mustache. Like Harrison Ford should still have a mustache, and Pedro Pascal should not. But no, I think Pedro's going to make a magnificent Reed. I'm definitely not a Pedro doubter. No Pedro hate up in this motherfucker.
There's no iteration of Reed Richards which is just fucking.
Dude has killed every role I've watched him in. I have no doubts that he will kill this one too. But he still should have shaved.
But no, I think Pedro's going to make a magnificent Reed. I'm definitely.
All right. So, any other big names from the Rogues Gallery, like Mole Man, Namor, Nihilus, whatever? And yeah, by the way, Namor is big with the Fantastic Four.
Dude has killed every.
He and Sue bumped uglies a few times.
I have no doubts that he will kill this one too.
Just saying. Alex says, funnily enough, the film's first act has a sort of rapid montage of the Fantastic Four going up against multiple low-level villains from their repertoire of rogues. Mole Man is one of them. Well, that's fucking cool. I love a good action montage. I love a good montage of asshole villains getting their asses beat. That'll be fun. Since you said after Secret Wars there will be a soft reboot of sorts, does that mean hold on. Excuse me. Does that mean characters like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men will be merged into the main timeline? If so, will their history be retconned into the timeline, or will they essentially be foreigners thrust into a new land? That is a damn fine question. Alex says, I don't really understand how it's going to work just yet. I think it's just going to be a new continuity and new iteration of the universe where it all starts from scratch, but not really. Like, if I had to explain what I was told previously, it's like nothing happened and they will continue on with their lives, but something did happen. A new iteration of the multiverse exists and some changes will be added in which will have ramifications later on. I wouldn't be surprised if no one remembered what happened except a few characters like Doctor Strange or Deadpool. Now, see, I think that makes sense. I'm not sure if it was before or after Sue was married with Reed, but they were definitely supposed to be a couple at the time. It was I think you could qualify it as infidelity. Yeah. I think. I'm not 100% sure if it's infidelity, but they definitely fucked. What's what you have a problem with? The mustache? Why are you yelling at me, Executive, Your Honor? What? Why? Why are you yelling?
I'm not 100% sure if it's infidelity, but they
But, oh yeah. I mean, to me, based on what Alex is saying here, is they're basically going to be treating the MCU reboot like how Battleworld was treated in Secret Wars. Because that was the thing about Battleworld. After Doom formed Battleworld, everyone on Battleworld... Oh, you're talking that scenario? Okay, well, listen. Listen, Your Honor. Listen to me. It's basically how Battleworld was treated in the comics. When Doom formed Battleworld, all the inhabitants of Battleworld thought that was exactly how the universe had always been. Obviously, except for Doom, Molecule Man, Strange knew. And the only people that made it to Battleworld that didn't know that was Reed and company in his life raft, and the Cabal in the other one. That's it. The list of people who knew that Battleworld wasn't how things had always been was very small. And it sounds like that's exactly how they're treating the new reboot. So everyone else is just going to be like things were how they always were, except for a few people who remember. Now, I also think that's just going to be at the start, because he also says changes will be added which will have ramifications later on. So while the new universe may start off that way, there is no way it's going to stay that way.
I also think that's just going to be at the start.
The knowledge of Secret Wars happening, or the lack of knowledge of Secret Wars happening, is most assuredly going to be temporary. There are too many smart people running around in the MCU for someone not to stumble across something and put it all together somehow, especially if they run into other people who also have little somethings. I think that's exactly how it's going to work. Everyone's going to get dumped into the new continuity. Strange will remember what happened. Maybe Deadpool, although I don't know why he would. Probably Reed's going to remember. Yeah, that's why I said the raft. If you were in the good guys raft or the bad guys raft, you knew. And if you were like if you were Doom and Strange knew. And I think that's it. The people in the raft and the and Doom and Strange. So initially the battle's going to be forgotten. Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be forgotten. But it ain't going to last. Because like I said, those changes, no matter how well they're woven in, are going to have ramifications. The knowledge will come out. It's just not going to be immediate. That's all.
Initially the battle's going to be forgotten. Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to be forgotten.
Hawkeye. I don't fucking care. Hulk. Ooh. Do you have anything to share with us about Hulk? World War Hulk. Hulk's writes his future like his next appearance or his role in the Avenger movies. I know you teased us something about him last month on Hulk, but you were waiting for it to be verified. Ooh. I still haven't been able to corroborate the rumor just yet, waiting to hear back. But the rumor involved Maestro appearing soon. What is the next version of Hulk Bruce Banner after Smart Hulk likely to see the light of day in live action? Savage Hulk, Joe Fixit, Green Scar Hulk, Maestro.
I still haven't been able to corroborate the rumor just yet.
Bro.
But the rumor involved Maestro appearing soon.
Maestro motherfucking Hulk?
What is the next version of Hulk Bruce Banner after Smart Hulk likely to see the light of day in live action? Savage Hulk, Joe Fixit,
Dude.
Scar Hulk, Maestro.
Maestro Hulk is the best of both worlds. He's Savage Hulk with a banner brain and a bad fucking attitude. Oh my god, give me Maestro Hulk.
Maestro motherfucking Hulk.
I mean, getting Red Hulk's going to be cool, but I need me a Savage fucking Green Hulk. And if it ain't the 616 banner, then by God, give me Maestro.
He's Savage Hulk with a banner brain and a bad fucking attitude. Oh my god, give me Maestro Hulk.
When would it come out? Probably after the first major event.
I mean, getting Red Hulk's gonna be cool, but I
Catastrophe has a way of exposing secrets.
fucking Green Hulk. And if it ain't the 616 banner, then by God, give me Maestro.
Yep. Yeah, Franklin rebuilds the multiverse with the Molecule Man's power mixed with his own reality warping power and guided by his father.
Catastrophe has a way of exposing secrets.
And he's even nice enough to fix Doom's face. Ah! That's how you get a different character. Or a different person cast as Doom.
Yeah, Franklin rebuilds the multiverse
Because remember, in the comics at the end of Secret Wars,
mixed with his own.
Reed gets Vickers' face fixed. And you can substitute the word
That's how you get a different
changed
or a different person
for fixed. Or at least Marvel could substitute the word changed for fixed. And there's why you have a new face on your new 616 Dr. Doom. Someone clip that because I'll fucking forget I said it. Chris says, Maestro is pretty dangerous. If I remember right, Doom respects him. Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember what... Because I know I watched some Hulk videos for Rob, and I know Maestro was talked about. So, yeah. I'm not 100... I definitely can't give you too many in the way of specifics, but I remember the way Rob talked about him. Maestro is crazy powerful. The first major event in the Mutant Saga, you mean? Yes. Yes, it takes large catastrophes to reveal large secrets. You believe that storyline kicks off Invincible Iron Man? Ooh. Is Invincible Iron Man when Victor Von Doom was being Iron Man post Secret Wars? Is that it? With his pretty new face? You believe that storyline kicks off Invincible Iron Man? Is Invincible Iron Man when Victor Von Doom? Like Doom is like, ooh, I have a pretty new face. I can start my life all over again and actually be a decent human being. And then he becomes Iron Man. Is that the one? I mean, after Doom's face was fixed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, think about it. I mean, after the Hickman Secret Wars, that led directly into all new, all different Marvel with all these people and all their new origin stories and all that kind of fun stuff. So, and Griff helped me out on this one. I don't think the knowledge of Battle World and all that shit was well known at the beginning of all new, all different Marvel, was it? Or was it? I'm not sure on that one. But I don't think people were looking around in all new, all different Marvel going, something's strange. Something's different. I don't think they knew. At least not initially. So, but yeah, fucking Maestro Hulk? Hell yeah. People are going to say the MCU died after Secret Wars. A few people remembered. Yeah, but it wasn't like universe-wide. Like, everyone wasn't like, damn. Okay, well, this is cool too, you know? Yeah, I mean, people are already saying the MCU's dead anyway, so, I mean, of course they're going to say that after Secret Wars. But at least Feige got his all-new, all-different Marvel itch scratched in Phase 4. Okay, well, this is cool too. You know? We've already had to suffer through that. I mean, people are already saying the MCU's dead anyway. Jennifer Kale, I don't care about the lettuce lady. King. But at least Feige got his all-new, all-different Marvel. Yeah. I didn't read that. Another King question. Is King still a side supporting smaller secondary villain in Doomsday Secret Wars like Molecule Man, or is King scrapped, retconned, and erased entirely? I hope Majors returns and given a second chance to be rehired, if not recast, because last I heard only Majors can play him in his contract. Well, Majors ain't fucking coming back, Spider Bright 98. That's not fucking happening. If we get a new King, they're definitely recasting. Alex says, he's gone for now. It doesn't mean that character can't be brought back later on down the road in some capacity, but if they do, chances are they'll recast the character if they want to keep him as a villain or go with the Iron Lad route. Yeah, what I fucking say. And use a younger actor to become Nathaniel. Yeah, Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Marvel Multiverse. Do you think warp speeding through this saga after the pivot could hinder the story overall to conclude the multiverse stuff? I'm a very big multiverse fan. I love the multiverse trope and have been loving it for a while since one of my favorite movies ever is Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. The way they handled the multiverse and how Owlman explained each universe was so fascinating to me at the time that I just loved the use of it in projects. Yeah, the animated version of that is fucking dope. If you have not watched the DC animated movie of this with Owlman and all that shit, you fucking need to. When Marvel Studios finally started to adapt it, I was genuinely excited about the possibilities, but I think now it's all about ending it. Oh, definitely. It's had its run, it's had its ups and downs, way more downs than ups, but all that matters now is ending on a bang, correct? So no, I don't think it'll hinder the story. Neither do I. There will always be unfinished plans or ideas, absolutely, but sometimes things don't go according to plan. Like, for example, did you know that the Inhumans were meant to have a bigger role to play in Avengers Endgame way back when it was announced as Avengers Infinity War Part 2, and it simply got bumped down to a TV show? I say, let Feige cook. Well, I mean, I know Rob would be happy to read that the Inhumans were cut. Where is it streaming? Max. I think all that shit's pretty much on Max right now, since WB owns DC and HBO. So, yeah, no, it's Kevin. Just remember this for when we get to something later. And we're not done yet. We still got part 3 and this other story. When I said buckle up, we're being here for a while. I meant it. Refill your cup, grab something new to smoke, and settle the fuck in. Oh, here we go. What project should we expect the TVA appearances other than Doomsday? None for now. Alrighty. Scarab, don't care. Okay, that's the end of part 2. Are we having fun with this shit yet, or what? Doom Prophecy on Sunday. Yeah, that's right. Also on Max. You want to know funny? I'm like really intrigued by that show, but I've only ever watched the original Dune, and it's been decades, and I haven't watched either of the new ones. I know. I'm shitty, but it's true. So ends part 2. I don't know about y'all, but I fucking love these Discord Q&As. They give us so much to craft with and speculate on. Excuse me. So yeah, even though I effectively know jack shit about the Dune universe, I just think that show looks dope as fuck. Yes, I know, Your Honor. I know. I know. I know. I slack on certain areas of nerddom still. Okay? I admit it. I admit it. I mean, they're on my list. I want to. Actually, what I want to do is rewatch the 80s one first and then watch the new ones too. Yeah, I know. I want to. I really, really want to. I've heard nothing but good things about them. But I want to watch them all. I want to watch the classic and I want to watch the new ones. But here's the cool part. Since Prophecy is technically like thousands, 10,000 years before the events of Dune, being a prequel that far in the past, I don't really feel like I'm going to be catching too much inside baseball in that show. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think I'm going to not understand or appreciate Dune Prophecy since I haven't watched the Dune movies? Or do you think I'll be all right? You've never seen the Dark Knight trilogy? I've never seen Dark Knight trilogy. I'm worse than you. Yes? Yes, you are. What the? It's literally the best Batman trilogy. For me. Bale is my Batman. Ledger is my Joker. I fucking love the Dark Knight trilogy. I know Nolan never wants to do a comic book movie again, but please, dude, please. You've helped DC. You gave DC the best Batman, in my opinion. Come on to Marvel, bro. Do it. Ledger is my Joker. I fucking love Yeah, you need to get on that Dark Knight, bro.
Never wants to do a comic book movie
If you don't even watch the whole trilogy, because let's face it, Batman Begins is an origin story,
You gave DC the best Batman in my opinion.
and honestly, The Dark Knight Rises was just okay for me. But The Dark Knight, if you only watch one Nolan Batman movie, watch The Dark Knight. It's not just the best in that trilogy. It's not just the best Batman movie. It is one of the all-time comic book movie greats.
Honestly, The Dark Knight Rises was just
Kevin Conroy is your Batman of all time. Such a great interpretation. Yeah, Kevin Conroy voiced a dope-ass Batman. That is for sure. I suppose, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, still, Bale is above everybody for me. But, I mean, if you want to go specific live action, yeah, no, Conroy was dope. R.I.P.
Conroy is your Batman of all time. Yeah, Kevin Conroy
For sure.
voiced a dope ass.
Stretch. Hold on.
I suppose. Well, I mean, if you want to go specific live action, yeah, Conroy is dope. All right,
Okay.
for sure.
All right. Y'all ready for part 3? Because I am. Here we go. Or, since we were just talking about The Dark Knight, here we go.
All right. Y'all ready for
Part 3 of 4. Part 4 to come next week. Of the Discord Q&A for the Cosmic Circus, hosted by one Alex Perez. What up, Lou? Man, my bitch trip. What is domestic trouble, sir? I'm sorry to hear that. He just told us what's up. His bitch tripping.
of part 4 to come next week. Of the Discord Q&A for the Cosmic Circus.
Well,
hosted by one Alex Perez.
Lou,
What up, Lou?
you're here now, and it's time to distract yourself from your home troubles with words of awesomeness from Alex Perez.
Just told us what's up.
And myself, of course. Okay, here we go. Future Marvel Sony projects. Ooh, do I really want to find out? Yeah. Fuck it. Let's rip the Band-Aid. Kraven the Hunter is currently the last Sony live-action Spider-Man spin-off movie to release. Other than the rumored Agent Spider film, do you know if Sony are currently developing any more? Yes. Let's see what other Sony or Spider-Man stuff Sony plans on fucking up. Okay, here we go. The thing with Sony is they're always thinking of ways to make a profit off their Spider-Man character rights when they can't wriggle their way out of the deal they have with Marvel and use Spider-Man in their films.
Other than the rumored Agent Spider film,
Oh, horse shit.
developing more.
They could use Toby or Andrew.
But the Spider-Man stuff, Sony plans on fucking up.
The negotiations are for Holland only.
The thing with Sony is they're always thinking
That's horseshit. So they do the best they can by trying to utilize a character that's Spider-Man adjacent and attach a highly marketable set of actors that can promote their movies fairly well to make a profit of it and extend their use of the rights. But they could be using Toby or Andrew. It's all a transactional effort when it comes to making these Sony movies. Look at Madam Web and the now canceled El Muerto, where the literal only reason they chose to make that movie was to cash in on the hype and popularity of Bad Bunny at the time. But too many delays, and poof, that went away. Of course, there are some exceptions. Their animated Spider-Man trilogy, for starters. Of course, it's still only a duology. We're waiting for the third part. Yo, Lou. Venom is another one where the actor was actually invested in the character and tried to make a good story out of it. I mean, that's true. Tom Hardy was very invested in being Venom and Eddie Brock, and he made what he thought were good movies. But to answer your question, they have ideas in development all the time, but maybe a fraction of them ever actually see the light. There's been talk of characters like Silver Sable, Black Cat, Sandman, Rhino, Chameleon, and Scorpion all had pitches and ideas for movies. Just now, they're thinking about Agent Venom for a movie. And they did kind of set that up in Venom 3. And I remember the time when Sony was investing in doing spider-adjacent films like Jessica Drew's Spider-Woman and Spider-Man 2099, but they were put on ice. So the answer is yes, they have ideas in development, but at the same time, the chances of ever seeing these projects come out is so minimal. Well, yeah, that's because Sony's stupid and refused to attempt to, like, bring in Toby or Andrew for, like, their own SSU shit. I mean, if they were really smart, they would just go, Kevin, help us with all this, please. We can't do it without you. We have to admit, we can't do it without you. Except maybe with Venom. But even with Venom, we could probably make more money. Please help us, but they're not. They're, what's the homie's name over at Sony? That motherfucker dumb as shit. Executive Judge says, I think maybe Toby or Andrew will go kick rocks for good after Secret Wars unless the money and the plot is superb. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, Sony would have to make something worthy of trying to bring them back in. But, yeah, I do agree. Thank God they canceled El Muerto. Yes. El Muerto would have been the love and thunder of the SSU. I feel like that might have even been worse than Madam Web. And that's saying something. Yeah, rare Sony dub, says the judge. That is correct. Spider-Man 4 and Beyond. Ooh, here we go. I was wondering whether Null is still the villain in Spider-Man 4. Even if he is not in it, do you still expect Peter to get the black suit in it? Thank you for your time. I like this question. Avi Arad. No, his boss. Josh keeps bringing up his name, but I can't think. Is it Rothman? Tom Rothman?
I was wondering whether Null
Is that it?
is still the villain in Spider-Man 4. Even if he is not in it, do you still expect Peter to get the black suit?
Like he's probably rolling his potential millions laughing at Sony's failures. Oh, I'm sure. I would be if I was him. I would constantly remind them, like, your only real success was with my help. You little bitches. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Venom movies technically all made money. But, like, the only real successes were the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, which Feige was helping with. I would constantly remind them, like, your only real success was with my help. Everything else has been decent at best. Don't get me wrong. The Venom movies... All right, so is Null still in the villain? And is Peter going to get the black suit in Spider-Man 4? I do expect the symbiote to play a role here near the end of the multiverse saga, as I explained in my theory. Yeah, he put that out, like, last week or some shit. I wouldn't be surprised if the way we get Null is if Spider-Man died at some point in the Avengers films and was brought back thanks to the symbiote, creating a new codex for Null to hunt down. But yes, the answer for both right now is yes. All right. I mean, it would be dope if they have Tom Holland in the black suit for Secret Wars, like they did in the 80s Secret Warses. He just says, I like the first Venom movie, and even then, that's not saying much. See, I really like the first Venom movie. Let There Be Carnage is... Well, it's not hot garbage. I guess I could put it that way. But yeah, it's not great, but it's not hot garbage either. At least not to me. And I still need to see Last Dance. Damn it. Feige probably slaps his forehead every time he sits through a Sony pitch meeting, says Griff. Yeah, I would imagine. It's probably why he wears a hat. He doesn't go for the head or forehead. He goes over the brim, and he's got a little bit of padding there. Always wearing the hat, so he's probably just like, damn, stupid motherfucking pitchers. Carnage just felt super rushed. Yeah, that it definitely, there was that to it. And it was just, it was almost like Circus, because, you know, Andy Serkis directed that. It was almost like Serkis was channeling his inner Tim Burton for that movie. Like, if you think about it, that's kind of, it had the feel of a Tim Burton movie. You know? Do 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 do.
It was almost like Circus, because Andy Circus directed that. It was almost like Circus was.
I didn't even care about getting spoiled for the post-credit scene. That tells you how much I care for the Sony movies, says executive judge. I mean, yeah.
It had the feel of a Tim Burton.
Yeah. All right. Might be too far ahead to know anything, but is there any vibe from Sony that they'll scale back Spider-Man after Spider-Man 4 to a similar level as Homecoming, especially since the multiverse saga will finally be done with by then? You know what? That's also a good question. Oh yeah, 100%. When the multiverse saga is done, the idea is to go back to basics. They want to have that Devil's Reign storyline play out in a Spider-Man film. Well. Okay. So, what does that mean, class? You know what I think it means? I think it means that Spider-Man 4 is definitely going to be much more multiversal than Grounded.
Okay.
I think both seasons of Daredevil,
What does that mean, class?
due to this, I now think both seasons of Daredevil are going to basically be covering,
You know what I think? It means?
are both going to be taking place during the Devil's Reign storyline,
Spider-Man 4
and that now,
much more multiversal than Grounded.
since Spider-Man 4 is off the table for Devil's Reign to finish in, looks like Spider-Man 5 is going to be that nice Spidey Daredevil team up that we were hoping to get in Spider-Man 4. Exactly. Spider-Man 5 is going to be that badass grounded movie we wanted 4 to be. So yeah, Spider-Man 5. Matt Murdock, Foggy, Karen, Kingpin, whatever other villains they decide to throw in there. And Kingpin will be defeated once for all in Spider-Man 5. Well, I mean, he won't be the mayor of New York by the time it's over, I'll tell you that much. But once and for all is probably overstating it. Defeated for a while, for sure. Because Wilson Fisk never goes away, which is good because he's an awesome villain. And I love D'Onofrio's version of him. Oh my God. I love it. Miles Morales. Woohoo! Here we go. Any updates on what the plan is for Miles Morales? It really all depends on which version you're talking about. Like, do you mean the animated one? The video game one? The potential live action one? Animated wise, we're about to see the end of Miles' story. True. And it's kind of exciting because it's an infinite multiverse out there, but so far, the most variants we've seen are of Peter Parker. Sure, there have been a lot of different characters and iterations, but most are a variation of Peter Parker. Just makes you think, there's got to be more than one Miles Morales out there, right? And this sort of ties into the rest of them, but more on them later. Winky emoji. Honestly, there's got to be more than one Miles Morales out there, right? And this sort of ties into the rest of them. But more on them. I really don't know what to make of that. I mean, is he basically hinting at a live, like they're going to transition the Spider-Verse from animation into live action? Is that what he's saying there? He's talking about more than one Miles Morales, and that ties into the rest of them. I mean, we know Sony loves the multiverse trope. I mean, they literally fought with Marvel over making Spider-Man 4 multiversal, right? I don't know. I mean, I want Miles Morales Spider-Man in live action, a big time. He's a dope fucking character. But the multiversal Miles is already. Ugh. Fisk will basically be the big bad of the street level saga happening, right? I mean, at least that section of it. Being defeated for good in Spider-Man 5 wouldn't be out of the ordinary. Nah, see, he won't be defeated for good. He will be back. He might be in jail for a while, but he'll be back. Muse is going to be a problem even for Fisk. I mean, that's... I'm pretty sure that's literally part of the... how they're going to generate a lot of the drama is because, you know, it's not going to... It won't be just Daredevil versus Kingpin anymore. Now they're going to have this complete, evidently, according to Alex, somewhat enhanced psychopath out there running around, turning people's innards into his version of art. It won't be just Daredevil versus Kingpin anymore. Now they're going to have this complete... I mean, literally, Daredevil and Kingpin are going to have to go into full the devil you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend mode in order to deal with Muse. And there's no way that's going smoothly. There's no way that's going smoothly. I mean, literally, Daredevil and Kingpin. Yeah, I can't wait to see how that shit plays out. It's gonna be so awesome because you're gonna have the usual magnificent tension that you always have between Matt and Fisk. And then you're gonna throw in this fucking super strong victim eviscerating psychopath in the mix. Holy shit. It's just yet another reason why Daredevil Born Again is so fucking hype. You know? Yeah, I really don't know what to think about this Miles Morales statement by Alex. Okay, Spider-Man video game franchise has him set up as the lead. Comes no surprise to me if we were to play as Miles for a good chunk of the game at first before getting to play as Peter later on. Oh, okay. So Spider-Man 3 is going to be more Miles's than Peter's? Or at least the beginning? Interesting. As for the live-action one, there have been several ideas, like having his own solo movie set up in the Sonyverse, to incorporating him in the MCU during this upcoming trilogy of Spidey films so he can eventually take over the mantle for Tom Holland when his time as Spider-Man is up, and that's what Tom Holland wants. He has said so. He wants to do for whoever they make the live-action Miles what RDJ did for him. He wants to pass the baton appropriately. But that's still, well, all that's still being worked out. The idea is they would like for them to team up. What? Fuck yeah. I mean, you kind of got to introduce him, team him up with Peter Parker, and then have Peter Parker pass the baton. And like Tom Holland has literally said he wants to pass the baton and do for the kid that plays Miles what RDJ did for him. First of all, awesome. And second of all, the way it should be. Toby and Andrew. Does Marvel now treat Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire like a package deal for cameos in which we will always see them together in the future? You know, I like that question too. I kind of explained earlier how they were planning on treating their appearances in future films as legacy appearances that incorporate them as part of the story and add on to their legacy as a character. Not really a sort of package deal appearance here, at least not to my knowledge. So they're definitely going to be back. But it won't be... It looks like he's saying it won't be as, like, major leads like in No Way Home. At least that's what that says to me. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Psychopathic monkey wrench, if you will? Would it be there for Fisk to do then if not defeated for good? Born Again would be long over, Spider-Man 6 would be Tom Holland's swan song, and Fisk really has connections to Matt and Parker. Spend a few years in jail, get out, and rebuild his empire. Would it be there for Fisk to do then if not defeated for good? He'd still have Daredevil to fight. Spider-Man 6 would be Tom From the sound of things, he'll end up with Miles Morales to fight. He'll have his whole empire to rebuild from the ground up. Oh, there's plenty for Wilson Fisk to do. Plenty. Tom Holland Spider-Man. Here we go. Well, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool and/or Hugh Jackman's Wolverine interact/team up with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Well, at least probably some in Secret Wars, I would imagine. I expect them to. I can only imagine the way the interaction will play out. Yeah, Secret Wars. How big of a role will Tom Holland's Spider-Man have in Secret Wars? Probably one of the main leads in the movie. Part of the reason why all of this is happening is because of him. Imagine the weight that Peter had to be carrying, knowing that because of his choices, he lost his aunt, he lost his best friends, he lost his girlfriend, he lost any chance of a normal life, and now on top of that, the universe and multiverse get to be destroyed, all because he tampered with the multiverse to try to get people to forget he is Spider-Man. Lots of things to weigh on his mind, even for Spider-Man. I mean, that lines right up with the rumored storyline, how Doom is going to give him a chance to give him his life. Doom is going to offer him his life back. And that's going to be his life when Doom creates his new version of the 616. Lines right up, doesn't it? Will Spider-Man be in other MCU films, not just Avengers or solo films? Like a Deadpool and Wolverine sequel team-up film and Fantastic Four for cameo, Avengers vs. X-Men, etc. Because I heard Kevin Feige wants to have Spider-Man in more MCU films, not limited to standalone and Avengers, and he wants full control and free reign over Spider-Man in the MCU future and is negotiating with Sony for that. I really wouldn't know. I know they're trying to get him to appear in a short cameo in Born Again as a tease that Fisk and his Punishers are hunting vigilantes like him down, but I don't know if it'll pan out that we'll physically see him. Well, that sucks. Venom and Eddie Brock. Oh, yeah. In the post-credit scene of Venom The Last Dance, did the cockroach get the Venom symbiote? Is Venom alive? Venom's alive, and we're going to leave it at that. All right. Will Tom Hardy's Venom return in Secret Wars after Spider-Man 4? Oh, I don't really know. I don't think so. Well, what the fuck? I hope Alex is wrong on that one, because what the shit? Executive Judge says, so aside from everyone forgetting Peter, the spell caused subtle consequences for the MCU as a whole. Oh, yeah. The incidents in Multiverse of Madness and the Marvels is piling onto that. Exactly. Those are all reasons for the incursions to be happening on top of everything else that's going out in the on top of everything else that's going out in the cosmos. Yeah, there's a lot of shit happening that we have not been shown yet, but that we are going to start to see in the Fantastic Four. That's when the end of the multiverse saga really kicks off, is with the Fantastic Four. Cap 4 and the Thunderbolts are basically is just setting up the Earthbound team for Doomsday and Secret Wars. But so far as cosmic shit and like what's actually happening out there, Fantastic Four is the beginning of that. Cap 4 and the Thunderbolts basically is just setting up the Earthbound team for Doomsday. All right, and that was it for those Q&As. But like I said, there's one more. No! Shit. All right, bear with me. I clicked one too many times. All right, and that was it. Like I said, there's one more. Oh, yeah. Bear with me here, because I done fucked that up. Okay. So what do you guys think of all of that before we get into this last little bit? Thoughts, questions, concerns, theories, speculation. What the fuck are they doing? What you got? What you got, chat? What you got? So what do you guys think of all of that before we get into this last little bit? Executive Judge says so. Fantastic Four is basically the Ragnarok of the multiverse saga because it'll lead into Doomsday the same way Ragnarok led right into Infinity War. What you got, chat? What you got? I mean, barring what they may put out either at the end of 2025 or in February 26th, because they still technically have those two slots open. Basically, yes. I mean, if they do manage to get Doc Strange 3 made and out in February right before Doomsday, technically that would end up being the Ragnarok. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So yeah, fantastic. It looks like Fantastic Four is going to be fulfilling the Ragnarok role at this point. And out in February, right before Doomsday, technically that would end up being the Ragnarok. Oh, you know what? I gotta find one more thing. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So yeah, fantastic. It looks like Fantastic Four is going to be fulfilling the Ragnarok role at this point. Hold up. Wait a minute. Free the nipple. Oh, god damn it. I did it again. No. Get this shit queued up here. Okay. Burke says, I still stand by Fantastic Four being the one that I'm most hyped for. For next year? Yeah, me too. Executive Judge says, I'm so glad nerd culture is so mainstream now. If this was back in the day, we would have gotten clowned right out of the room. I mean, facts, bro. And guess who you got to thank for that? Okay. Kevin Feige. It ain't Star Wars. It ain't DC. It's Kevin White Suge Knight motherfucking Feige. Nerds owe him a much greater debt than they realize. Brooke says, hype low for MCU films next year for me is Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, then Brave New World. I feel like a lot of people would have that order. I'm inclined to agree with that order. I agree with that order. I feel like a lot of people do. I mean, you know, not everybody. But yeah, I feel like probably that would be the majority of the sentiment in the fandom. All right. Okay, yeah, let's do it this way. All right. So. All right. One more story from the Cosmic Circus. We have a working title for Spider-Man 4. On July 2026, Spider-Man 4 will be swinging its way into theaters, and fans could not be more excited about the return of their favorite web slinger. It'll have been nearly 5 years since we last saw Tom Holland don the mask after a much-deserved break to work on other projects, most of which sucked. With each passing day, the anticipation for the sequel grows, as do the rumors regarding the film's plot. While details are scarce at the moment, some rumors have pointed to a multiversal cosmic-centric plot, while others aim to tell a more grounded street-level story. The only ones who could shed some light on that would be Eric Summers and Chris McKenna, the writers behind this next chapter in Spidey's story. However, we have come across some new information regarding the highly anticipated Spidey sequel, and it could shed some light on what the future installment has in store for us. Our sources confirmed that the next Spider-Man film will be filmed under the working title Blue Oasis, with a production company of Blaze Films, Inc. Do not be alarmed if the name does not ring any bells, as there is currently no relation to that working title with anything Marvel or Spider-Man related. Blue Oasis is the name of a color that is said to be a soft, mid-toned blue. To the naked eye, this might seem like a fundamental name or color, but to some avid comic Spider-Man fans, this shade of blue bears a strong resemblance to the blue utilized in a very popular and universally beloved comic run known as Spider-Man Blue, written by Jeff Loeb and illustrated by Tim Sale. You can observe one of the covers for Spider-Man Blue compared to the Blue Oasis color palette. That's pretty fucking close. Spider-Man Blue was a comic written by Jeff Loeb in 2002 that ran for 6 issues. The story is set on Valentine's Day and presents a Spider-Man who feels blue or depressed as he sits atop the Brooklyn Bridge. The story retells how Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy first met and fell in love in a beautifully told story that melts even the coldest of hearts. I won't spoil how the rest of the story goes, but I highly recommend that everyone read the storyline. Going back to the article, the working titles, while not the actual final title of the film, often drop clues or provide hints as to what a movie could be about. The use of Blue Oasis as the working title and the color it represents could indicate a slight adaptation of Spider-Man Blue. But what elements could they use? Perhaps the long-awaited introduction of Gwen Stacy could be at hand here, since it does tell the love story between Peter and Gwen. There's also the element of feeling blue, which we are certain Peter is feeling right now. By the time we reach Avengers Doomsday, it will have been at least 2 years since the events of No Way Home within the MCU, and we are sure that while being Spider-Man distracts him from his current life circumstances, being Spider-Man for 2 years all alone could have had a detrimental effect on Peter during that time. And I'm sure the film will cover what Peter's been doing for the past 2 years, trying to cope with the events of No Way Home. However, we do want to report that our sources confirmed that once again, the events of the next Spider-Man film will take place after Avengers Doomsday, meaning it will not be a prequel to the events of the upcoming Avengers film. Interesting. Interesting. How could Spider-Man Blue tie in to what we think we already know about Spider-Man 4? Does Alex have a valid point that after No Way Home, Tom Holland's Spider-Man being completely on his own with no one knowing who the fuck he is, his aunt dead, and him being back to basic broke-ass motherfucking Peter Parker, you think he could be feeling depressed after all that? Yup. So that adapting that part of it makes sense. What I think is interesting is if the storyline is to give him his old life back, you know, bring Aunt May back to life, give him his friends back, give him MJ back, will they bring in Gwen Stacy as well? So that adapting that part of it makes sense. Will they complicate things by, even though somehow giving him his old life back, now he and MJ are for whatever reason not together? And will Gwen Stacy then come in and be like, Hey. Interesting. Could be another fun little emotional twist to throw in there. It is way too early to know if that how much that working title is going to impact the movie. I mean, look, Blue Oasis. I mean, just the blue part, yes. It could tie into the Spider-Man comic just in terms of it being depressed.
It is way too early to know.
Could mean the introduction of Gwen Stacy, but let's take it as a whole phrase. Blue Oasis. I mean, what's an oasis anyway? The traditional meaning of oasis is a one of those very few spots you find in desert regions that actually have like water and vegetation and stuff. Shade, trees, water. That's an oasis. So what if,
What's an oasis anyway?
and I'm literally coming up with this on the fly,
One of those very few spots you find in desert regions.
what if they do adapt not only the depression aspect of Spider-Man Blue, but bringing in Gwen Stacy and making her Peter Parker's oasis in that depressing time. Hmm. What you think? No, I haven't played the PlayStation Spider-Man games. I'm not a big gamer. Mostly because my hand-eye coordination is ass. I've never been good at video games. Maybe this could be WandaVision all over again, with Peter having the life he wanted, and then everything begins to unravel all over again. I mean, in a way, kind of, yeah. I mean, instead of it being a hex cast by Wanda, it'll be an entire new universe created by Doom. But yeah, I guess kind of basically the same thing. Wouldn't that detract from Peter's arc? He messed up with a dangerous spell and ended up making his life miserable. It had seemed like he never learned from that incident. I think after 2 years of living like that, he would be more than desperate enough to have anything that looked like his old life back. I think that makes total fucking sense. So, but yeah, that's, I mean, again, the being sad after 2 years of being completely cut off from everyone that ever knew you, essentially, I can definitely see that making him depressed. In this brand new world that Doom gives him, finding a whole brand new love to help him pick up the pieces also kind of makes sense. We'll see, though. This is like speculation based on the most meager of details. So, honestly, who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? But here's another thing, though.
Speculation based on the most meager of details. So, honestly, who the fuck knows?
On July 2026, Spider-Man 4 will be swinging its way into theaters. Or will it? Now, if y'all recall, yesterday when Josh brought this up, someone sent him a clip from the hot mic when Jeff Snyder was talking about this. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when I watched that clip, I'm like, that's missing some detail and some context. So I went back earlier today and watched the hot mic.
Y'all recall yesterday when Josh brought this up.
Pause the music there. I said pause it. Thank you.
Mike when Jeff Snyder was talking about this.
So I went back earlier today and watched the hot mic because I thought there might be a little.
So I went back earlier today
I thought there might be a little more context to that. And it turns out there was. Not a lot, but a little. So let us get a little more context and to see why Snyder said what he said.
When Natalie Portman was talking about, I want to help women, I want to be directed by blah, 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 and then she went and starred in 5 movies in a row directed by men. She got a lot of crap for that. And so these are the things that you see when you say, there are people who legitimately want to help, and there are people who use that as a calling card for status, front-facing status, right? So this is Hollywood, man. We've been telling you since the birth of this show, don't believe what you read, don't believe what you hear from these actors. They're all saying stuff that essentially make them look good, and all that's the same thing here. So, but I also think facts. Sydney's got her own axe to grind in certain ways as well, I think, in her feelings about Hollywood. So, and she's more than welcome to them, but
right, she's been criticized politically, or she's been dismissed because, of her looks, and she's only because of her looks. No, it's actually because she's actually, a pretty talented performer when she gets a chance.
I think that's the real issue, is that she's hot, she's good, she's smart, and people want to watch her stuff. Yeah. So she threatens everybody around her because,
And she gets naked in Euphoria more than once. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, I know. It's pretty close.
There's not much you can take her down on. Speaking of her, though, let's put her back up here, because let me ask you about this, Jeff. We've been talking about
the rest of the show. I don't care what we're talking about. You know what, guys? Sydney Sweeney hosts the hot mic from now on.
I mean, that would be fun. I would love Sydney Sweeney to host the hot mic with us for a week. She said, we've talked about this for the Euphoria. Let's swing this back to Euphoria, Jeff. She said she had to pass on a few projects, quote unquote, while waiting for Euphoria season 3 to happen. Zendaya kind of intimated the same thing as well. And so what do you think about this? She said, quote, in this Vanity Fair interview, there were definitely a few projects that I had to pass on because I was supposed to be going back to Euphoria, but because I am producing now, I was able to say, you know what? I don't think this is happening. I'm going to put some of my own projects on the slate. That's how anyone but you happened. Euphoria was supposed to start filming. I had another film that I was supposed to do, but we couldn't get it cleared. And after a few weeks, I realized this is not happening. So I put full gear to make anyone but you. And, she's doing a lot of films over the last year and a half that we've seen. So, there's no way this is happening, right? Euphoria season 3, come on. Tell the fucking truth. It's not happening.
I tried to tell the truth, and then HBO came out guns a-blazing. And Casey Bloys did a big press conference with everybody and said, don't you worry. Euphoria season 3 coming in January.
I don't see
starting to film it.
I don't. No way. No way. I just don't believe it.
I mean, after I published my story, another very high-level source reached out and said that they'd heard that Euphoria was very much in question.
Right. Yeah.
But fair enough. You got to take HBO at its word. And they say it's going to be 8 episodes as well. I looked into the Zendaya, Chris Nolan stuff, and it sounds like that's just a cameo.
Oh, okay.
Obviously that announcement threw me off. It threw a lot of people off.
Yeah.
Filming at the same time. But, if it's just a cameo, then I think it would be easy to navigate.
Yeah. Zendaya was also interviewed for Vanity Fair. This was a recent thing. Yeah, yesterday. And these are her quotes about it. My most important thing is to do justice by the people who love and care about Rue, and make sure that she's looked after as a character. I think that's my number one duty. And she said she hasn't, quote, read anything yet about where the characters are headed in the new season, but I'm excited to see what everyone has been working on and what the future looks like for Euphoria. I don't really have much of an answer, except for right now it's set to start shooting in January. Casey Bloys said, someone said something online, and then this whole thing started.
Some jackass said something online, and then one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden,
it's hilarious.
I mean, guys, it's not me that's saying it, right?
Yeah.
My phone is blowing up with texts. If I felt I could call HBO and call Casey and have a conversation with him, like a reporter should be able to do, we would do it, and I could trust him. But instead, there's layers of bureaucracy, and so listen, most reporters settle for that, and they just say that's life. There's layers of bureaucracy, and then there's me that says I don't care about any layers. I'm just going to post it. You know where to find me.
Yeah. I do want to say, look, at the risk of incurring the wrath of Zendaya, who I completely respect and bow down to, and please don't hurt me, because she's a badass. There's a way to disseminate what she said here, Jeff. My most important thing is to do justice by the people who love and care about Rue and make sure that she's looked after as a character. That's my number one duty. That's saying to me, like, I'm leaving myself an out to not do the season if I don't think you're doing justice to the character that I love. That to me that's actor speak for I'm laying the excuse out now for when I walk away from this project in January. Am I wrong?
There's one thing I haven't mentioned.
Okay, go ahead. At the risk of getting more.
I'll give it away here now. So I have heard, because I was really hammering like her schedule with the first half of the year and Euphoria and Nolan. Someone reached out and said you should be more interested in the second half of the year.
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
I said that because I'm under the impression that like Spider-Man would go right in the second half of the year. Sounds like if it does, I don't know, man. I keep hearing Spider-Man 4 may have been pushed to like end of 2025, early 2026. Like, I don't see a world in which it makes that release date in 2026 in the summer.
Wow.
So I'm hearing that something's up with Spider-Man 4's date and that may be pushed some months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean like it'll get pushed? Will that affect Secret Wars getting pushed? Because that's supposed to land right.
I have no idea.
Okay. Because it's supposed to land in the middle, I think, of the two, which is why I ask you that. So, all right.
And I haven't confirmed anything. I haven't even asked Sony or whatever. I hear someone reached out saying to keep an eye on that situation.
Okay. Oh boy.
But like, could Dune go next year and then push and like be before Spider-Man? I don't know.
It's a good question. This is the kind of stuff you get on this show, people.
All right. What? How the hell? That was weird. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay. What a moron I am. All right. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. Turn the fucking music back on. Oops, I got to turn that down first, though. Turn that down. Turn that back on. Womp. All right, cool. So, admittedly, highly speculative. But with that added context of all the other shit Zendaya has to be doing and is signed up to be doing and when that's all supposed to be filming. I mean, the initial word was that Spider-Man was going to start filming in the spring. Maybe late spring, early summer, at the latest. Because as of right now, that July 26th date is when it's supposed to come out. Now, if whoever tipped off Jeff is right, and that the back half of Zendaya's 2025 filming schedule needs to be paid more attention to, I think he's right. With all the shit she's got going on in front, with the Nolan and the Dune and Euphoria and all that other shit, it is not outside the realm of possibility that Spider-Man 4 won't start filming till Q3 or Q4 of next year. And if that actually happens, Jeff's right. There is no fucking way it's going to make the summer date. Now, does that mean it's going to get pushed till after Doomsday? No. Marvel still has a date open in late 2025 for a movie. It's the one that Blade used to hold. That's still open. So we may not get Spider-Man 4 till, what, November 2025 now? Maybe, maybe not. Now, do I think that if Spider-Man 4 gets delayed by a few months, do I think that that's going to cause them to push Secret Wars later in 2027 to fit stuff in? No. Nope. I do not see Secret Wars moving. Feige wants this fucking saga done. And most of the fandom fucking agrees with him. And he knows it. He knows that we are ready for this fucking multiverse saga to be over. He knows we want our mutants, and we want them fucking yesterday. So does he. Feige and the fandom are in lockstep on this shit. We're ready for the multiverse saga to be done. We're ready to get into some hardcore mutant shit. Secret Wars is still coming out May 2027. Do I think it's impossible for it to get pushed to later in 2027? No. Nothing is impossible. Okay? But do I consider it likely? No. Not with the general sentiment both inside Marvel and outside Marvel in the fandom being, please God, get this goddamn multiverse saga the fuck over with. Even if Spider-Man gets pushed till fall 2025 or 2026, I mean, Secret Wars is not moving from May. I just don't see it. What do you guys think, though? 2 questions. 1, is Jeff onto something? Could he possibly be right? 2, if he is right, will Secret Wars get pushed? I have told you my thoughts. You tell me yours. 2-way communication in this motherfucker chat. What do you got on that? What do you got to say about that stuff? Ow, God damn it. Old man shoulder. What do you think, chat? Do you think Spider-Man 4 is getting pushed? Do you think that'll create a ripple effect and then Secret Wars will get pushed? What say you, my most excellent community? How about it? What do you think, chat? What do you think? I want to know, what do you think? Tell me! Okay. Sorry. Nothing? No thoughts? Are we all just lurkers now? That's cool. Here's what you do. You click into the replay when this is over and tell me what you think in the comments. Yeah! While also hitting the like, subscribe, and notification bell if you haven't done so yet. But yeah. Jeff has really good sources, so if someone's telling him to keep an eye on something, doesn't necessarily mean shit's gonna happen. No. But if his sources are telling him to keep an eye on something, then while it's not guaranteed to happen, I feel like the likelihood went up. Whose schedule is actually the problem? It's a combination of Zendaya and Tom. I mean, Jeff did say it turns out Zendaya's role in that Nolan film is still going to be more of a cameo, but that really just opens her up to be able to film Euphoria. It doesn't really help her out with Spider-Man 4. And the Nolan film definitely doesn't help Tom out with Spider-Man 4. So, I don't know. I think there's a couple more details floating around. I mean, not that I know this. This is just a feeling I have. But I feel like there's more floating around in the schedules that if Jeff doesn't know about, he's not willing to talk about at this point. Right? So, I mean, like I said, Jeff's source reaching out to him about this is by no means any kind of guarantee that Spider-Man 4 is going to be pushed. But if he's got sources voluntarily reaching out to him saying, yo, keep your eyes on that shit, to me that says to me that increases the possibility. I'll put it that way. It's not any kind of guarantee, but I'd say the odds are now higher than they were on Thursday. Or, well, on Wednesday, because that hot mic episode was on Thursday, obviously. So, yeah, I'd say the odds of Spider-Man 4 getting pushed are higher now than they were Wednesday evening. But I still don't think Secret Wars is getting pushed no matter fucking what. Because just about everybody wants out of this saga. Just about everybody wants to get into the mutants. No diddy. You know? So, that's what I got for this evening, folks. A whole lot of Alex Perez and a little bit of speculation about Spider-Man 4 and a little bit of griping about the Batman. That's what I got. What y'all got anything else? Questions, concerns, thoughts, comments, epiphanies? Because I'm a dip if we are done. I need to get back on Twitter, see how the pay-per-view is going, and argue with people, and smoke some weed, and then watch the prelims. That's a fucking banger of a pay-per-view card tonight, y'all. Oh boy, it's going to be interesting. So, anything else, guys? All right. Okay. I'm calling it then. I hope you guys had fun going over all that stuff. I did. I had a ton of fun going over all that stuff and speculating and agreeing with people and disagreeing with people and getting all kinds of motherfucking nerdy. It's awesome. I love hanging out with you guys and getting our nerd on. It's always fun. I'm always grateful that anyone chooses to spend time hanging out here with me and listening to me blather about this shit. Y'all are awesome for that. Yes, a good amount of nerddom. Thank you, Griff. So, whether you've been live, hanging out, involved in the chat, live hanging out lurking or have watched this entire motherfucking replay, thank you for hanging with me. I appreciate it more than words could ever say. So, if you had a good time, hit the sub button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and keep on coming back, because I am glad to have you here. All right? So, with all that being said, hope y'all had a good time, and we will see you again soon. Much love. Oh, yeah. Good times, good times, good times. And let me just say this real quick. Just in case anyone out there needs this particular little itch to be scratched, let me just say. But the news that's come out this week, we have had more confirmation that Lucasfilm sucks. And these Rey movies are going to be a goddamn disaster. So if you needed just a little bit of turd rain on Lucasfilm, there you go. I dropped a little stream of ass piss on Lucasfilm for you there. Man, I love this stuff, though. I love talking about this stuff with you. I love interacting with you in the chat. You help me inspire my thoughts. Hopefully, I help you guys inspire your thoughts. And we just have a lot of fucking nerdy fun. You guys are the best. I appreciate you very, very much. So remember, wherever you're at, whoever you're with, always, always, always keep it nerdy. Peace, y'all.